we return once more to annihilate Mike because he's back this week. I'm sorry, everybody. We put it off for a whole week. We had a good run. But now he's back. And we have everyone back to join us today with, as well, some sexy maps over here. Ooh, sexy maps. But yeah, let's go around, figure out who we are, who we're playing. Let's get out of the way. Let's start with Mike. How you doing, Mike?
Somehow D&D hired you. Ooh,
somehow my partner was the ghost. Fucking hell.
I also appreciate that you announced yourself live on the D&D channel as I'm Will and I'm a sex icon.
It's on brand. It's on brand.
10 out of 10. Yeah. So, as always, I am Mike. I am here playing Hezekiah Crowsbane. That's my name. That sounds about right. That's not what I made up. And yeah, we have had a little bit of a break from the game, and I couldn't make it last week for emergencies. But I'm back to see how soon I die. Immediately, I'm betting.
Pretty swiftly, I'd wager.
Yeah.
Awesome. We have Mr. Grimjack2 on 5R2, our Dungeon Master, back today. How you doing, my friend?
Oh, I'm doing well, man. I'm looking forward to this. I am slowly getting better and better as far as feeling better and better. And I have all my note cards ready. And this is the one just to kill Mike. And I've got all of them completely set, which means I have no clue what you guys are going to do because, as Will knows, this is a Chris Perkins vehicle, which means Chris Perkins gives you about 1 million options per square page. So we'll see what happens. We'll see where they go. We'll see what color note cards I use. Let's get to it.
Awesome. We also have Strider Heat back with us today. How you doing, my friend?
Hello, friends. I'm playing Rurik. I'm super excited. He missed out last week. Rurik actually has a new 6-inch hole in the middle of his chest now. So he almost died.
And it's not from what you think it is.
Not what you want, 6 inches.
Nope.
Not at all. So
that is not the correct orifice for that, no.
So hopefully we can get him up to speed and get him a few new holes too. Since he's back this week.
I'm sure we can tear him a new one or two if that's what he wants. All right, nice. And speaking of which, how are you doing, Josh?
Wonderful segue. I like the idea that Chris Perkins is actually written in somewhere on the page. Option 542. Just tear Mike a new one. I'll be back to don't act like you don't deserve it. I'll be back playing Quinn Kalin of Clan Kane, the most alliterated man ever, and he is back, and he's a druid. He's a druid. He does druidy things. You don't get the paladin. You don't like the paladin. He saved the paladin's life. He's sad about that.
Well, we couldn't even kill Mike, so we got to work on this. Also, Fred, a rice ball donates £5. Let's reward Greg for doing such a good job DMing last session. Here's 5 advantage rolls for him. Oh shit!
Oh,
he had a
damn.
Triceratops last week. Holy shit! All right, let's get ready for that. Well, thank you, rice ball. And as for myself, I will be returning to reprise my role as Grob, who is the half-orc barbarian. Who has, he wears glasses a lot of the time, he's got some kind sensibilities, and he's all in all just a bit of a nice guy. He's trying to figure this whole thing out. He may have made a couple of mistakes in his past, but in general, he's having a good time here. He's making it alive, he's helping defend a tribesman, he's getting spooked out by this weird voodoo shit he doesn't like, and magic, but other than that, he's having a good time. Rated Mike for the 15 months. I think it might be the first 15 months sub. Mike, how's it feel?
It feels dirty. I don't know what happened to our child. It's been 3 months, and I haven't seen it one time. I know you've moved several countries. I don't trust you.
Yes, I have shipped it off somewhere. Anyway, let's remind ourselves of how we can interact in today's show as well. Of course, if you haven't yet, you can follow the show. 20 followers, we're only 2 away from that, in fact. You guys get to decide something which happens next in our game. Also, here is the tweets for your guys. 20 retweets and another viewer decision will happen. And, of course, you can donate to affect the game as well. You can get players nat 1s, nat 20s, wild magic surges. That's all pretty vanilla stuff. But wait, there's more. This week only, there is a D100 table of curses. And you can curse the players. You can look at the table there. We had a bunch of curses last game. It was awesome. It was hilarious. So check those out. And let's specifically screw with Mike if possible. But other than that, I will hand over to Mr. Grimjack 21502 to take us away on this fantastical journey of grinding our meat together.
Oh, let's grind it. First off, I want to clarify that was Rice Bowl that gave me the 5 advantages. I have drinks for him later.
It is indeed, and also on that note, thank you to That Salty Ginger donates £5. Wild Magic Surge tapped back for my good buddy Josh. Yeah.
Hey! Don't regret
it. No regrets. Thank you.
Since we're throwing around all these wild magic surges and curses and advantages and all that good stuff, I thought now would be a good time for me to say that I've been thinking about, during the interim, how I could get chat more involved with Tomb of Annihilation.
Right.
I don't want to give away everything that's going on with Tomb of Annihilation story-wise, but I will say this. The big bad in Tomb of Annihilation basically was able to clear away a place for themselves by secreting away entities known as the 9 trickster gods. Now, the 9 trickster gods have been put away, and but they are not ineffectual in that they can still send out blessings, boons, and tricks to whomever they feel is worthy or unworthy on the continent of Chult. So, chat, I would like to graduate you all to divinity. You have become my 9 trickster gods.
Congrats.
Yep. Anytime that we have a viewer decision, I am going to ask you to vote on one of the party members. That party member will then be gifted a random boon and or trick by the 9 trickster gods. The good thing about this is the boons are fantastic. However, they also come with tricks that are usually in the form of a flaw that these 4 gentlemen are going to have to RP and incorporate into their players. For example, some of them may be an inability to lie, which might make it very difficult considering we have a lot of secrets flying around in this group. So whenever we hit a viewer decision, tweets, subscriptions, followers, anytime we hit one, we're going to vote on somebody. That person will then be gifted something in secret, their flaw and their boon. If it is not revealed by the end of the episode, during their outros, they will let us all know what they've received. Now, here are the rules. Each character must be cycled through before we start over again on somebody else. So there's a couple different strategies here for how the 9 trickster gods might want to approach this. You might want to say, the one I like the most, I'm going to not vote for them because I don't want them to be saddled with something bad like this. You might say, I think so-and-so needs something because I think they're going to die. So maybe we'll roll the dice and see if it's a good boon that they get. Or you can just vote for Mike.
Is this called the Mike caveat? Either way,
The Mike caveat, yeah.
So they can't only vote for me; they have to vote for everyone else.
That's the little asterisk.
Yeah.
I was making sure that it wasn't just like a several week sodomization of Mike.
Like every other encounter stream on Monday.
Right. No, but I mean, these are good things. I mean, I don't want to ruin any of the abilities, but they are very powerful, and they were given in this. I mean, Perkins made it in this module to give these things to help the player characters because they are woefully outmatched at this point. And maybe
Now it's even worse.
Yeah. I mean, you take the good, you take the bad, you take them both.
Did I mention how much I loved you and how much I love producing all of this free content all of the time for like 2 years for you guys? No big deal.
This is your chance, chap. This is your chance.
This is your chance to end Encounter Roleplay.
End it now.
Do it.
Right.
Do you remember Wilma the Lish? Do you remember that?
That crime against humanity.
That was your thank you. Don't listen to him. Don't let him seduce you.
All right. Well, should we do a bit of a recap as to what happened last time as well?
Yeah. Anybody else want to do it, or do you want me to do it, or?
So, last time in Chult, we found ourselves fucked pretty much. We stopped a human sacrifice. That was a good thing. That was pretty damn amazing. Now there was the strangeness that Mike's character, whose name I've forgotten because why would you care?
Hezekiah.
Hezekiah was actually a useful member of the team, but it was made bearable by the fact that I genuinely rolled a Wild Magic Surge that said that I don't believe one of my fellow compatriots is real. I believe they are an illusion. And that's the only reason my immersion stayed in that game, was because I knew that it was bullshit because Mike wasn't playing it. So he was useful. And we saved this kid, and this kid was like, hey, we should go outside. Doesn't speak a word of our language. He's like, we should go outside. I was like, I'm a bear. I can smell something out there that is much bigger that wants to nom, nom, nom. And no, not cool. So we did super stealth. We snuck through the jungle. We finally made it out into sort of like a plains where we encountered an interesting group, like a tribe native to Chol. And these guys were big into sort of tribal warfare, their rituals and a million and one other things. And they just were so high. They did all of the drugs. And then they got us really high. And we had some visions. And we all know personally what our visions are, but we don't know what everyone else saw other than what we said in character out of that, because we took our headphones off, so there's a lot of secrets going around. And then it turned out that we were part of some destiny to save the tribe, which would then in turn help us. But we had to save the tribe from the pirates that survived the shipwreck that brought us here. Stuff got. We went down like a whole nother level. It was amazing. And we ran off to hold a fort, and we barricaded one entrance, so there was only 3 ways in, and we were like, we'll cover those 3 entrances because that way's barricaded. And then it wasn't, because Triceratops and Strider died and then didn't die, and we drove them back. But so the chieftain was absolutely ruined. He got thrown across chieftain is very dead. So we got this tribe. We don't really know much about them other than they have a seer. Somehow they're linked to a destiny, and they've claimed to be our allies. And we just kind of went, you gave us free drugs. We agree with you. We're probably friends.
Yeah. Yep, we fought dinosaurs and pirates and defended their forts. Rurik took 48 damage or something from a Triceratops. He got fucked. Is he actually still down at the moment?
No, yeah. I got him back up. Poured a health potion. I poured a health potion into him. Yeah, that chat donated, because you guys are actually not terrible people sometimes. Right. Remember that, trickster gods. Or maybe that was that's your quota for the month, and it's just going to be hell, who knows. And then I healed him with magic and stuff, because I actually was sensible and took some healing spells. Healed him, got back up, and he went ham. And then the last thing we saw was me as a bear on the back of a Triceratops, ripping its spine out and roaring a challenge, and there was blood, and it was amazing. And I am a bear god.
Sure. Okay, cool. And also thank you to Definitely Not Strider, who donates £10. Curse Mike, please, love. Mike, that's a D100 roll on our new curse table.
I don't want it.
Well, you got it.
Son of a bitch.
You want me to read this one off for you, Greg? When he rolls it? Oh, wow. That's
Yeah, go ahead, man.
98. That's our highest roll yet. That's the highest roll of the day. Congrats, Mike.
Shut up, Josh.
Okay.
I see your smirk.
Every window or door to you looks as if it's a door or window to another plane or dimension. This scares you, making you not want to go through any doors.
Son of a bitch! The temple's full of doors!
That might be the only thing that saves you from the temple, to be honest.
Yeah, I just can't go in, and you guys just get meat grindered.
Yep.
And then I just collect your bones afterwards, after the curse wears off.
All right, I love it. Okay, Greg, I guess we'll hand over to you, my friend, to pick us up with today's episode, and we'll get into the curses and Wild Magic Surge.
Okay, so what we're going to do is we're going to kind of fast forward a little bit here. And whenever the camera pulls back in to see our adventures, as Josh mentioned, when we left them, there was a bear ripping the spine out of a Triceratops. Now we are on a beautiful ocean. There is a large double-hulled outrigger boat with 2 triangular sails cutting its way, nicely making waves in this water. There are 8 Paku villagers who are intermittently more sailing than anything while they're on the open water, but occasionally you'll see them drag oars through or redirect. All of the party members are there, including Raven, the elven archer, who has mysteriously been in and out of this story so far. There also is a band of 5 pirates who were captured in both the raid and subsequently when they turned themselves in, not having the ability to survive in the jungle without their compadres. These pirates are tied together, hands are bound in front or behind them, and to make sure that there isn't any funny business, they are all also tied and kind of daisy-chained to a very large rock that is sitting in front of the largest of the Paku villagers, who is a tribeswoman, and she occasionally looks down at it. Also sitting beside her feet is a sack full of what can only be described as all the worldly possessions of the pirates. As you guys are cutting through on this outrigger, it's a moment of pause. You're able to stop and look and take in the majesty of the incredibly azure sea and the sky blue, where it's almost melds and gives a sense of disorientation because the two colors, so unlike on the regular continent of Faerun, really almost meld here. And in effect and in actual imagination, it appears like you're floating across the sea. And as we're going through here, I'm going to take this opportunity to ask Will, Josh, and Strider to take off their headsets as we give Mike his vision that he did not get last week.
I will also take a brief note to thank Forbrand. Cheers. 1250, Rurik rolls on the Warwick table. I will link the table to you. D166 for when you want to do that. And I will take off my headphones and see you guys in a minute. Bye.
Okay. Mike, I need you to roll 2 Constitution checks and 1 Dexterity check for me, please.
Great. I'm sure that'll go well. So Constitution coming up first. Nailed it.
You did. It was. Now, here's the great thing. Because you guys saved the boy in the lizard people tunnels, you get to re-roll all nat ones. So re-roll your Dexterity save, please. Oh, there we go. Okay, so basically, since you weren't here, Mike, what happened was they went into essentially what was a medicine lodge, experienced a shamanistic vision quest. For you, it goes something like this. As you think back, riding in the boat, now you think back to the Dooney or what the shaman told you. And as you're kind of drifting and rocking with the waves, it takes you back to the vision that you had. And the vision went like this. You see, whenever it comes out of it, you see a walled keep, fortified, strong, and displaying the colors of some unknown crest, one lost to time. With a casual glance, you're greeted with the sight of the keep's name carved in the reddish, deep reddish stone, Banehold. There's a flash. The keep lies in ruins, the colors tattered and faded against the sundered stone. A thin skeletal figure, more shadow than substance, holds a staff while it sounds as if a storm rumbles in the distance. But as you draw closer, the inspection, it actually reveals that the deep roll of thunder is a chuckle, a cackle emanating from this figure. The figure turns, still just a shadow. I know this place, even though I can't see it. And I know you. How delicious indeed, Crow's Bane. And there's another flash. You're in the recent past. You identify your surroundings immediately as the Temple of Ogma in Waterdeep. You're faced by 2 women. One of them, dressed in priestly robes, is known as the Voice of Ogma. The other you immediately recognize as one Syndra Sylvain, a wizard who seems to be ill with some type of disease. They both close on you and intermittently take turns speaking to you. Your job is one of utmost importance. You and your family have long history with the enemy, and he is responsible for your family's fall. You will use your family's artifact to lead the party to the Defiler. And if you do this for us, Hezekiah, if you do this for us, we will restore your family's name, lands, and titles to either you or your designated heir. There's another flash. And as you're looking in, it's a mind's eye, a third eye, and somehow you realize this is not the past, this is not the present, it's a possibility. And again, you see the keep from your earlier vision. Now it is flying a strong color, strong crest, and you know what that crest is. It is the House of Crowsbane. Banehold is glorious and resplendent. Men of arms come in and out. Ladies of state in and out. It is a center, it is a hub. It is a strong family of the realms. And as you kind of drift inside into the courtyard towards the keep proper, you see a huge 40-foot tall monument. It's beautiful and resplendent with mixtures of what appear to be green marble and white, perhaps quartz, something offsetting. And as you get closer, you see embedded in the stone is a diamond rapier. And on a plaque just beneath it, a plaque carved from jade, it says, "Here lies Hezekiah Crowsbane, who died so his family could live." There's another flash, and you're back on the boat.
Back. So what are you guys chatting about?
Nothing. Just, here or there.
Just boy stuff.
Just boy stuff.
You wouldn't understand.
Just little boy things.
This little boy thing.
Will, you back? You were out on the stream for a sec, man.
I'm back. I'm good.
Yep. We couldn't get Josh. Josh is doing something. We'll just start going, and Josh will look up and realize we're all on, and
He'll get there.
Yeah, that one day.
Poor Josh. So, Greg, we're on a boat. Is that what a...
Yeah, it's like an outrigger, almost like if you're thinking of how to put it, it's like a Polynesian double-hulled, canvas in the middle, outrigger.
Yep.
Struts, 2 big triangular sails, and you guys are cutting through there, nicely making waves.
Now, since Hezekiah has momentary memory loss, why are we on a boat?
Okay, so you guys, this is the upkeep and how to get you guys all back up here. After the instance inside the fortress where you guys fought off the remainder of the pirates and a couple of the dinosaurs, you were brought in by the village of Paku, and they immediately cared for your wounds, took care of everything. You guys are at full strength at this point, and they proceeded to prepare their outrigger to take you to the mainland of Chalt. Immediately on the next morning, you were gifted and met at the beach of Paku, or Salu Island, and the entirety of the village saw you off, praising you as the champions that you were for saving their village. You were also privy to the funeral of the chief, who was buried by fire on the beach next to where you departed. Zol, the boy that you saved, appeared to have been some type of heir or son of the chief, and he was given the mantle as it came through. And as he approached you all to kind of see you on your way, this 8-9-year-old boy bequeathed to each of you a finely woven leather necklace with a crystal offset in the center, kind of braided around spiderweb like with this crystal. He gave one to each of you and also one to Raven. And as he put it on each of your necks, he would look at you, and though he couldn't speak the language or can't understand your own, he just basically mimed, "Don't take it off," just to leave it on. And he then issued that the villagers take several of the strongest, hardiest of the villagers, drug the pirates out, set them in the outrider, placed you guys in there. Several hours later, we're in the middle of the sea. And you guys see what can only be described as the great green continent looming to the south. This incredible mass of nothing but green has started to peak up over the horizon where once was blue, even with the similarities in the spectrum of these colors. This thing is the greenest living thing you've ever seen. And as you guys draw closer, occasionally the wind dies down as the current shift, and as they draw closer to a mainland, and the Paku will begin, as they pull through on the waves. And when you guys get closer, it's easy to kind of fall into that rhythm that's being gifted by the Paku as they begin to move it through. But every once in a while, you'll get a smell of something coming off the mainland, something you've never caught before. Nothing necessarily bad or ill, but strange, never experienced. The closer you get, you almost hug the coast as you're heading in a northwesterly or northeasterly route up the coast. You could swear that you hear drums coming from inside the proper, just for a second, maybe a trick of the wind, but something carrying it along. You'll look at the horizon and you'll see flocks of birds burst up through the jungle, and you'll realize that's a little too far away for those to appear that big. And Quinn, more than anybody else, catches the silhouette against one of the setting sun and all too intimately knows that these are not the feathered birds that you may have seen on the Sword Coast or in other parts of Faerun. And as you guys get closer, and as you guys kind of crest around the side of this vast continent, the Paku continue to move, and you see a huge bay open up in front of you. And all of a sudden, they stop oaring, and they put the oars inside the boat, and they just wait. And you guys are kind of floating there. Mike, also, Hezekiah gets a permanent +2 to dexterity.
Sweet.
Big deal.
Yeah, I'm kind of a big deal, guys.
I'm gonna investigate this smell. I asked the crew, what is that smell? Something around here is kind of fishy, maybe.
They all kind of look around, and the large woman that's in the back of the boat, the one that's kind of seems to be the captain, if there's such a thing, gifted in this type of craft, she's manning the tiller, and she kind of looks and she makes the motion to be quiet. And maybe 30, 45 seconds later, a huge geyser erupts from the port side of the boat. And all of the Paku stop for a second, and they just wait, watching that space. 30 seconds go by, 45, a minute, and another geyser goes off to the right. And immediately, when the second geyser sounds, the woman casually reaches down, picks up the rock, and throws it off to the side. And with a scream, the pirates, who have very little time to react, are one at a time drug off the side of the boat. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Splash, 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 hit the water. As soon as the last one descends, the rest of the pack who immediately go back to oaring as fast as they can. And you guys are left kind of in a state of shock because these people were essentially murdered in front of you, bound, thrown over the side with a rock that no one can outswim, especially with their hands tied. But you only get about maybe 20 yards from the site of their departure when you see a huge reptilian head sound out of the water, almost like a whale as it comes up and turns in the air, gifting you with the sight of the pirates inside its mouth, daisy chained out, as it crunches down into them, and it comes back in and splashes and returns to the deep. And the Paku continue to row towards what appears to be a settlement in the distance.
I think I'm in a state of shock at the moment, like, oh my, by the gods! Having witnessed these people just basically be murdered in front of my eyes. Grub's a stuffed soul at the best of times, so I'm very disconcerted that these guys don't seem to be too worried about this either. So I will ask...
You shall never escape vengeance.
I'll ask one of them, what's going on? Yeah, even though he probably doesn't speak my language.
Right. The big woman kind of looks around and not really understanding, but kind of getting from where you're directing your gaze and pointing and things like that. She thinks for a moment, and then she leans forward as the rest continue their oaring, and she says, "Tribute."
Oh, and now Grub understands. He doesn't like understanding. Hey, Eddie Gareth for 15 months. I appreciate it.
Hezekiah kind of looks after hearing tribute, and in the most racist fashion ever, he just starts miming hand motions, like how much? How many tribute? More tribute? And he starts like pointing to people. Row faster, please! And he just starts miming. We need to go.
No more tribute.
No tribute.
We need to get out of here. No more tribute.
Go, no. Go, wind. And he starts just miming this to the lady in charge.
She looks and then she at one point just provides him with another oar.
Yeah, and he immediately just starts going. Not very effective. He doesn't really know how to row or understand the principle of stroke. He just starts going as fast as he possibly can against the rhythm of everyone else.
Right. As soon as you kind of get into your own unrhythm, a couple of the other villagers kind of look back intermittently at the larger captain, and she just kind of shakes her head and, basically just let him go. He's just let him.
He'll tire himself out.
Right. So as you guys get closer, you see ahead of yourselves a huge settlement here in the middle of what you've already witnessed to be a very vast jungle continent. Quinn, this is maybe the first city that you've ever seen that doesn't immediately defile your senses with its absurdity and its obstruction of nature. Because what you're looking at here is, while the natural stone and the woods are all apparent in the construction, nature is everywhere. There are vines climbing every wall. Every flat surface has some type of plant or fern decorating it. Even from this distance, you can see that there are a team of brightly colored gardeners that are whatever they're called, going in and about the city, making sure that the creeping vines don't enter into the slate roofs or into the foundations to weaken the structures, but at the same time not cutting them back too far, allowing these plants to absolutely take over the city. As you guys get closer and closer, you start hearing voices that are shouting and cursing in an unfamiliar language, with clicks and inhalations and sing-songy words that almost make the entire scene seem musical. And the closer you get, with the larger ships kind of looming over and the three-masted galleons, as your small outrigger pulls into one of the berths, you hear several of the other sailors and workers jumping down off of this the area, and they're just casually talking to one another, but the language itself is so strangely beautiful that it's almost intoxicating as you hear these clicks and these whistles, and people jump down and you just hear it, and it's offsetting, and it's nice. And Quinn, you appreciate this. You appreciate the symbiosis of what maybe civilization should be.
Oh god, yeah. Like these people can live. Everyone else fucking, but these people can live.
As soon as you guys pull up to your berth, the large captain reaches down and she pulls out the bag that was there and tosses it to one of you. Inside, you will find the entirety of the wealth of the pirates that were subsequently tossed over the side.
There we go.
You have 211 gold pieces that were given and gifted from both the pirates and the villagers of Paku. And just so we have a reference going forward, you are currently carrying 2 days worth of food and water. And that has been noted. Welcome to Chalt.
Like 2 days each?
Yes.
Okay.
The party can survive for 2 days.
Okay, we've got 2 days provisions, and we're coming into some civilization. I'll say to the leader, what's the name of this place? And I point towards this fantastic city before.
She thinks for a second, and she just kind of shakes her head and points towards what appears to be, because of your experience with cities on the Sword Coast, a harbormaster-esque building right at the edge of the docks.
Okay. I nod thankfully and say, well, boys, not quite sure where we are, but this place looks amazing. We should go speak to the harbormaster and see if we can't get ourselves sorted here. Be an adventure.
This beauty, this is what we are fighting for, friends.
Did you say amazing? This place is so dirty.
Like, Quinn, like, looking around the party, like, maybe I misjudged you. And then Hezekiah just opens his mouth and immediately, nope.
Yeah, I look at it and say...
It literally has a sword made of diamonds.
Yeah. It's got a strange beauty to it, I think.
I guess.
Okay, so as you guys walk up, you are gifted with a couple more unique features of the city. You do notice that while there seems to be a constant state of maybe augmented humidity, almost a mist is constantly falling in this area, the heat is incredibly oppressive. Rorik, you're immediately sweating buckets. The metal of your armor, while heated with the sun and protected a bit during the travels by the sails, is just become absolutely suffocating as soon as you're starting to actually have to get up and walk around, and there's no longer a sea breeze that's being augmented by the actual sailing.
Oh, and his face itself is just bright red, and he actually has like flakes like peeling off of his face from his like nasty sunburns he's gotten out here.
Right. And though I didn't admit it or mention it before, you also are in possession of one loosely bound velociraptor named Thesaurus, who has a leather bind around its snout and is curiously looking around. I mention this simply because as soon as you guys get to the harbor proper, you are gifted with the sight of massive animals, beasts, and lizards. Some of them are actually carrying ships out of the water for cleaning and dry dock repair. You see them carrying wagons filled with what would take a team of 8 horses to carry as they lumber through the streets and the cobblestones of this rather unique city. So mixing in with the general commotion of normal urban life, you're also the intermittent natural sounds and the deep bellowing of these great beasts as they walk through the area, just crashing through the docks. And as you guys look up and look around, you realize that this entire city is set up for 2 things: life and the ability to use every resource that's provided to them by nature.
A good time to note that we've hit a viewer decision.
Yes, fantastic.
I'm so pumped.
My 9 trickster gods.
I'll just take the first one.
Take one for the team.
Just get it over with.
Okay, so if that's the case, Will, then chat, you have but one decision at this point. Who do you want to reward and potentially damn with one of the trickster gods' powers? And I will let them know what horrible things happen.
I might be able to do this. Let's see if starting this click map works. I think you should be able to in a few moments here. Click on the screen on the face of the person that you want. I think it should start showing a blob. That's the plan, anyways. See if spamming clicking the screen works. At the moment, there should be a live thing showing on my own channel. What's up, Rain Over Me? Hey, my friends.
Well, I don't know if I like anything you're doing.
I don't know if I like this. I don't know if I trust this new science.
Bad enough.
Just gonna put a blob all over.
Unprepared science, so I'm not even sure if this will work.
I'm gonna just mix some stuff together and see what happens.
And what we will do too is I will, for everybody in chat, for the 9 trickster gods, I will simply roll a d10. A 9. That's great. And just
yay.
Greg, I don't believe you.
And whatever happens, I will send it to Mike as soon as he finds out what he gets. I mean, whoever gets it.
Son of a bitch.
Registering clicks, but it's not showing my blob. I may have to prepare science better for next time.
Alrighty. So yeah, you guys have entered into the port, and you are now able to go into wherever you'd like.
Okay.
When we go into the, I'd say we should go into the harbormaster's office first and just figure out where we are. I was going to say
the same, yeah.
Well, as soon as you get towards the harbormaster's office, one of your first questions is answered for you, as you basically see what is essentially a call board or a placard board And above it adorns or announces the area that you're in as Port Nyanzaru. And underneath it, you see what are apparently post bills for guides that will take you deeper into the heart of the continent. There are several of them there. You may look at them if you would like, but at this point, it doesn't appear that there's anybody currently in the harbormaster's office.
Have a call in, I guess. Harbormaster?
I'll spot around and see if I can see anything while he's calling. If no one comes out.
At this point, from an area that doesn't appear to be public, a back room, a lady comes forward and she says, "He is not here. He's out making sure that the boats are carrying the precise goods. Can I help you?"
We are new round here, and we were wondering if we could have some directions.
Of course. In fact, here, and she passes forward what appears to be a parchment, almost a tourist guide of Port Nyanzaru, and I will give you guys.
All right. Well, 62% of people are voting Will. Is it because it's over Mike's face? Are you guys aware that it's not Mike? Let's just say my name.
Don't take that away. You click on the person's face, Will.
That's not true.
You don't have to click on that little orb at all. You just click on that person's face and it counts that way.
All right, Greg. Well, I either get the boon or the bane here. It looks like. I have been voted in by the 9 trickster gods of chat.
And I couldn't be prouder of you, chat, for taking a stand.
You're helping me out, right, guys? You giving me a boon.
Sure, absolutely.
This is one sexy map.
Oh, let me go over the sexy map. Oh, holy!
Hope you like that. Take that in. Take it all in.
That's doing it for me. That's definitely doing it. Holy moly! Whereabouts are we now?
Will, I'm giving you your. There's your boon.
Are we right here? You can't see that color.
Well, I do get a boon, do I?
You do get a boon, which has just been sent to you, and you also get the flaw, which will now be sent to you.
Oh. Okay. You want me to read these out?
No, you don't have to.
Okay, let me read this. Okay. Oh shit. Oh. Okay. I was like, that boon is kind of useful, and I was like, oh shit, that bane is awful. Okay, I'm sure this will come out in the game shortly.
Right. Okay, so guys, you have just arrived, and you are currently. Let me double check here. You guys are right.
You hold down shift and hold down click. You'll ping us on the location. Bring us over there.
Oh wait, I keep switching my modes. Hold on.
Yeah, no worries.
Whee! There you guys are, if you saw that. Right at the docks.
Okay. Yep. I see.
There you are. Yes, you are locked and loaded. Okay, at this point, it is just the 4 of you guys and Raven, the elven archer. And at this point, she pulls you guys aside, back out of the harbormaster's office once you've been provided with this map. She draws you all close and she says, "You honestly don't remember anything?"
If we did, we would tell you. We've got no reason to lie.
I don't believe that.
Well, I don't care.
My memories return to me. My memories return to me. And you're to tell me that none of yours returned to you at all.
Nope.
Roll a deception check.
9.
She looks even more skeptical. Listen, we need to get your memories back. There's a temple here that could help us.
What kind of temple?
It's a temple of the truth.
Sounds like an alright temple, I guess.
To the god Savras, yes.
What god of temple?
Savras.
I don't know that one.
You know what temple would be better? You should find the
sure.
Temple of Heronius.
You're just gonna say it, aren't you?
Yes, he's going to just say it no matter what. No, we will go to the Temple of the Truth Seeker. I know the practitioner there. This is either you're deliberately deceiving me or this is unacceptable.
You're right, this is unacceptable.
Rob like shrugs, whatever. But all moody.
Oh God.
She turns and looks at Hezekiah.
No.
Who wants to remember themselves, or who wants to be foretold as being someone who's already lied to this group? I need at least one of you to come with me. I need to have someone to speak with who understands this mission.
Oh, well, I guess I'll go.
I'll go too, I guess. If we're all going.
You need someone that can navigate temples and religion.
She rolls her eyes and checks them slightly. What about you, Druid?
The druid just sort of looks at you all and just says, I have no business in no temple. These are not my gods.
But you can wait outside then, I guess.
I would like to sample the local fauna. This is pleasantly unusual.
Okay.
Very well, then we should pick a place to meet.
What about here? In an hour.
Oh, I know here. This is here. I can definitely find here.
What sort of like?
We've already found it, mate.
What can I see around sort of me or hear around me? What sort of sights and smells are there? That sort of thing.
Well, at this point, because of your acclimation with nature, you're more in touch with the fact that this doesn't smell like a city. In fact, it's, despite what Hezekiah says, it's incredibly clean. It appears that because of the frequent rainfall in this type of environment of the tropical rainforest, there are in fact in the cobblestones of the street about 2-foot wide gutters that appear to be solely for the purpose of capturing and redistributing water throughout the entirety of the city. There are also intermittent cisterns. There are water wheels that seem to dip into the actual gutters to power mills and various other contraptions that everybody has set up. You notice right away that the gutters all seem to go to some type of water collection facility. Nothing is wasted in this area. As for specific smells, you do smell the sweetness of flowers. It smells like honeysuckle, but not quite. You smell something else. It smells like peppermint, but not quite. There's just something slightly off. And to a druid that's never experienced it, it is intoxicating.
I sort of tell everyone that I'll meet them. I'll meet you all back here soon. I have to. And he sort of awkwardly walks away without really explaining, as if he's not paying in, like he's forgotten to finish his explanation to you guys entirely. He goes off in search of something. He's not sure what. Greg, I'm going to let you pick where I stumble into. It can be anywhere you fancy.
Sure.
Meet back here, friend.
At this point, Raven turns to the 3 remaining members of the party, and she says, should someone go with him? Do you really think he's going to come back here in an hour?
I look uncaring.
That is the look of an enamored man, but I certainly need to be at the temple, don't you think? So I can tell them that their temple is worthless and they need to worship Heronius instead.
No, I believe the dirt man will be fine. He is in a dirty city, surrounded by dirt people. I believe he is amongst his home.
He'll be fine, probably. Who cares?
So racist.
I thought Dirtman was the surname.
Harvey Dirtman.
That'd be great. Okay, so you guys...
Just fucking leaving him to go off.
That's your decision, guys.
Josh, this is how you die. You're the first casualty of the tomb. We didn't even make it in yet.
No. My way of surviving the Tomb of Annihilation is to not go. So I'm just gonna let you guys do the campaign and get fucked up, and then I'll learn from your mistakes. I'll bring a competent crew.
Oh God.
Oh Jesus. Okay. So if we travel north from the dock ward, I'm gonna ping the area right now. That is where you're headed. If you can see it, there we go. All right, so as you guys are crossing through the city, you notice that as soon as you leave the harbor area, a couple things to note as you're going through. Also, I'm going to make you make intermittent perception checks. These may or may not be fatal. We'll see though. And so for right now, I'll have you make just the 3 that are together. I'll have you guys make perception checks for me, please.
Why are you like this, Craig?
Why did you do this?
I had a terrible childhood.
A fantastic bold 6, most noble roll.
That one, baby.
Oh yeah. So I don't think you guys are like, you're gonna die, Josh. 2 of you dead.
Okay, so as you're going through the area, Hezekiah, this might be a greenhouse pretending to be a city. It's still a city. And cities are more your domain than perhaps the other 2 that are flanking you. And as you're walking along, taking in the sights and the vibrant colors and the exotic nature of Port Nyanzaru, you think that perhaps you may have a tail at this point. You're not totally sure because, I mean, you have tabaxi minstrels on the corners. There are very odd movements to a lot of the creatures that are around here. So it's not necessarily something that stood out to you as being perhaps definitely a ping, but something wasn't right for a second.
Do we see humans and half-elves? And we're all humans and half-elves, right? I don't think we have anything.
Yeah, predominantly, though, it's more
Half-orc,
exotic
mate.
than that. Yeah.
Oh, you're a half-orc, right? Okay.
Yeah, you saw one other half-orc at the docks. You saw predominantly humans in this area. You do see quite a number of tabaxi, though, as well. The cat people seem to be focused primarily on the entertainment profession, as nearly every street corner has some type of performance, juggling, singing, some type of musical accompaniment as you guys go through. And the music itself is things that you recognize from the quote-unquote mainland of Sword Coast. I mean, you hear tavern songs, but you also hear, for those of you familiar with them, religious songs. You know, perhaps Rorik hears, a couple of the verses of what would essentially be a hymn. It just seems to be a smattering, the proverbial melting pot of a city that has it all going on at this point.
So, hand on his diamond rapier, because it's expensive and he doesn't want it stolen. He looks to Raven and says, "Excuse me, Raven, I believe it was, or some other bird name, I don't know. You get many half-orcs and half-elves here, or no?"
No.
Oh, okay. Do you get many outsiders at all?
All seeking their fame and fortune inside the heart of the continent. They don't stay long.
Yes, well, we may have eyes on us.
We had eyes on us as soon as we pulled into the birth.
Well, I hope they're good eyes.
Who's watching
my
us?
good side.
Who cares about us?
That is the question.
That's why we're going to this temple. I need someone else to talk to.
Fine.
Wandering around here like children. We'll all be dead soon. So as you're going through there, I'm sorry, go ahead.
No, he just shrugs his shoulders in a huff.
Right. Okay, so as you guys are walking and continuing towards the city, we'll cut back to Josh for a second. You have been drugged through the area, and you're traveling south now at this point. And so you have gotten into what is essentially the, let me see, making sure it's the market ward down here. And even though there are areas that are more commercial, there are actual stores and stalls and things like that going on. Once again,
Oh, we lost Strider, okay.
Oops.
I hope you're back in a minute.
Once again, you're just seeing this symbiosis for what it is. And as you're kind of drawn into the area and drawn into the majesty of Port Nyanzaru, it takes you a minute to realize that there is somebody standing next to you. And they seem to be taking in the same thing that you're taking in. Just a hooded figure, simply watching the area.
Yeah. He sort of glances to the side, and sort of reaches to sort of like behind his cloak to sort of like seemingly sort of stretch and scratch his back, but he slips his flint dagger free, and then he just keeps it sort of like folded, like up your arm, so it's keeping it sort of hidden, and looks to without sort of like looking directly at him, sort of turns his head and says, "It's quite something to see."
The voice creeps out from the hood. It is. And a hand reaches up and you see the symbol of the Emerald Enclave.
He immediately just slips the flint dagger back into its sheath and pulls his sort of quite thin cloak around him, and it's always a pleasure. What can I do for you?
It is what we can do for you. He was here 3 days ago. He left by boat.
Who was here? Was it?
You know who.
I need to know where he was heading.
We do not know. He left by boat, and in the night departed and left onto the shore. The chamberlain of the boat does not know when he slipped off, but he and his companion are somewhere in the interior.
How far could they have made it?
By themselves? They are resourceful, but it couldn't have been far. They left in the area of the Order of the Gauntlet's stronghold. Perhaps that's where they were going. It is our only lead.
Why would they head there?
Safety in numbers. He is traveling with a Sariel.
How do you spell that?
I'll let you know.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Love you, Bang.
I like this game.
Whoa.
Included.
You can't.
Okay, bye.
Let's get back to the game.
If you or a loved one has been diagnosed with mesothelioma,
Chat, that was Strider. You can find him online.
You can send him
have a loved one.
Oh, that actually hurt my ribs.
Okay, so
Okay. It was 3 seconds of uncomfortable.
Yep. So he is in the interior with his companion, a being of formidable power.
We can't let him fall too far from our grasp. You know what it is he has.
I do.
This place serves as a reminder. We must do everything we can. How many men, how many contacts, how many beasts do you have at your disposal?
We have sent everyone out around the port as far into the interior as they can go. We are waiting for word. There are 3 remaining in the city proper. We are not strong here, hence your presence.
My presence may be temporary and fleet.
Good.
How do I contact them?
Take this. And she hands you her symbol. You're now in possession of a symbol of the Emerald Enclave.
Just noticed. Whoop. Oh, whoop. He nods just quickly, sort of slips it into a pouch. It is best we don't speak too often.
This is the last we will speak, unless they have doubled back or we get additional word. Otherwise, when you leave by boat on the Shornstam, we will get final word to you there. If we can try to figure out exactly where they got off, we will let you know.
You have my thanks. I must leave. I must leave. I don't trust my traveling companions not to have followed us. We'll speak again.
Perhaps.
When time is right.
She just turns and walks away. Let's cut back to the guys as they get to the Temple of Savras in the Temple Ward, or the Merchant's Ward.
Well, let's talk secretly about stuff. The other guys and betray the party.
Yes. Hey, I'm curious how much Rurik knows about this temple. Has he ever heard of Savras before?
Well, make a religion check for me.
I shall.
I will not.
I refuse.
I refuse to think.
You know shit about this. Now, you can pretend that you do, but then I'll make you do a performance check or deception. No, you don't know shit about it. As you guys do get closer, though, you realize that this is, in fact, a temple. Any of you that have been into the temple district of Waterdeep, it looks nothing like the temples that you see there. In fact, it is very Spartan, almost as if the money that's being maybe gifted to keep the temple open actually does go to the people that maybe worship there, as opposed to building grander and grander structures. But that's just my comment on organized religion. Okay, so as you guys get through there, Raven turns and addresses the 3 of you. Who's coming in? Who else is coming in?
Well, I walked all the way here. It's hot out. I might as well go inside. Is there water? I am quite parched.
There's water provided right at the end. You've noticed that there's ladles and stuff at the entrance to most every structure that seem to come straight from the gutters into these rain collection barrels.
The ladle is up in Rurik's hand, and the water is pouring over his head, down his hair, into his armor.
You get a couple sideways glances at the utter waste of water by a metal-clad figure, but you have a dinosaur, so you kind of get a pass.
Hezekiah asks the first person inside the temple, "Excuse me, where's the private water?"
Outside.
Where's the distilled, purified water?
Yeah. This is clearly the peasant water.
Bottle,
Where is
yeah.
the water for everyone else?
The person appears to be a form of acolyte, or perhaps a student of some kind, simply gestures outside towards the public rain barrel that Rurik is currently bathing in.
Oh, gross. And he proceeds inside.
At this point, Raven will look at Grob. Are you coming in?
I guess. And I strop in there.
Okay. When you guys walk in, you are met with the interior of the temple is as humble as the exterior of the temple. There's a few scattered benches. They are arranged in a semicircle around a slightly raised platform, of which currently sits a very elderly man. And as soon as you walk in, you notice that he is talking to 3 leather-clad figures, and one of them is holding a ruby about the size of your fist. And they're gesturing, and everybody roll a perception check for me.
Huh. 22 from me. That's
Nailing
20
it.
from Mike.
It's
Holy
a gem.
shit.
It's a gem. Greedy bastard.
Rorik again cares nothing for what's going on in the world around him.
I haven't rolled
He has
higher
water
than
in his
6.
Okay, so Hezekiah and Grob, you guys catch the very tail end of this conversation as the old figure says, "I won't do it. I won't do it. Get out." And seeing or hearing or sensing the arrival of other people, you see the ruby disappear up a sleeve as the three pull hoods down and walk out past you.
Interesting. Although Grob just doesn't care.
He's just so over it.
He's so over it right now. Done.
Grob, did you see the size of that ruby in that man's hand?
Yeah, I guess.
You could buy a new attitude, for one.
I like sit down.
Harumph.
At this point, Raven goes up to the older gentleman and whispers into his ear for a second, and he comes over and pulls himself up to the audible cracking and popping of his joints, and he walks over and he immediately starts reaching for Hezekiah's face.
He's reaching for my face?
For your face. Anybody else, I would just say they touched their faces, but knowing your love
Does he look gross?
Does he look dirty? Is that what you're asking?
That's what you interpreted what I said as.
Is he hot?
Right.
That's what I'm really
How
asking.
grody is he? That's the
Yeah.
question.
Right. Right. He as let me put it back on you, put the racism back on you. As grody as you would think a man of the cloth could be.
Holy shit, that's bad.
It seems like they only have public rainwater here. They don't have private rainwater. So yeah, he immediately steps back. What are you doing? This is my face. Touch your own face. What can I help you with?
Do you wish to remember?
Remember that I don't like my face touched? No, I got that quite well. What else do you have to offer?
He turns around and she Raven shakes her head. This is grandfather. If you want to remember what happened to you and why we got here, he can help.
You buried the lead on that one. He looks like a homeless beggar man.
She whispers into his ear. He chuckles and smiles and begins to reach for your face again.
He leans forward.
Just whispers. Just do it. Just touch his face.
Okay.
It's really annoying him.
Just grab it by the face.
I'm going to need everybody else to take off your headsets.
Yes.
This is getting bad.
Yeah. Okay, now that it's just Hezekiah, grandfather, and my 9 trickster gods, Hezekiah, your memories are restored. You know why you're here. You were brought to this place because of what you possess. The divining rod, the bone divining rod that's been in your family for generations. As soon as you remember, you can feel the hum in your pack. You can feel the vibrations that had been perhaps unattuned or unknown to you when your mind was shielded as it was. You remember being summoned to Waterdeep by the voice of Ogma and a wizard by the name of Sildane. And as you were brought in there, you remember that you were set on this quest for one reason and one reason only. You are the only one that can find a Sirorak, who is the god that is in charge of this death curse that has fallen on the Forgotten Realms. This death curse attacking Faerun, anyone that's been raised by magical means, anybody that's experienced reincarnation, been brought back from death through the gates, they are all dying. And there is nothing that the religions of the world can do. No clerics, no wizards, no warlocks, no sorcerers. No one can stop it from happening. If you have died, you are dying now, and nothing can prevent it from finally claiming you. The organized religions of the world made one last desperate attempt to send what appears to be some very separate, very different people to Chult. You have an obvious connection as being the one that can find a Sirorak. You can't remember, though, why the others are there, or if you ever knew. But as you are sitting there, and as you can numbly aware of grandfather's fingers on your face, you feel the connection pulse, not necessarily sever, but as he pulls back and there's a thunderous surge of something through the arcane, the web, the weave, you feel it. And as it goes through you, you realize there is something else blocking your memory. Perhaps the final thing that you've forgotten. And as you pull back out,
guys.
Yep. When you guys see grandfather touch Hezekiah's face,
Holy shit.
you don't see anything other than, like a Vulcan mind meld. He's just going in and feeling the face. And then all of a sudden, his eyes roll back into his head, and you see him just spring back, and Raven actually catches him before he can fall. And as he's holding them, he's starting to shake, and there are, goosebumps all over his hand. He is covered in flop sweat. And when you look back over at Hezekiah, you see his eyes open, and for a second, they're completely white. And then kind of reaching through cream, you see his eyes come back out. And Hezekiah, you're back.
Very confused as to how he's on the floor now. He kind of looks up and says, was that all? I feel like there was, let's go a second time. I got like one or two more.
Grandfather just waves back, and it's as if he no longer wants to or cannot continue this ritual.
Well, I don't like grubby elderly men touching my face, but gentlemen, I recommend you let him touch your face.
Why would I let an old man just touch my face?
It's a soothing gesture.
All right.
Rurik can smell evil as if it's a foul stench. Is he getting any kind of weird vibes from this, or is this all place on the up and
I think
up?
we're all getting weird vibes from this.
Right. No, but by sensing danger, do you mean that you're doing some type of...
Well, he just can
Paladin
kind of generally tell how much evil is nearby. Is this dude on the up and up?
I'm going to... why don't you roll a perception? You already failed your... No, yes, everything's perfectly fine here. Your paladin senses have never failed you yet, Rurik, and you are convinced that everything here is fine. Now, if you have an ability or something that you want to burn, let me know about it, but right now you feel good. You feel safe. This place is fine.
Is this because of that one Call of Cthulhu episode, Greg? Is this payback? For the priest?
I will neither confirm nor deny anything that has happened.
Well, Grub just kind of shrugs. All right, then, I guess touch my face, priest.
Okay. As grandfather's kind of getting himself together, he's delivered some water. Raven brings it into him. The rest of you notice that the three that would come into the temple before are waiting outside. And in fact, one of them kind of peeks in whenever Raven comes back.
Okay. Someone going to touch my face, or am I just going to be left here waiting? No.
Right. Okay, everybody else take off your stuff. Take a drink and... Right. Is that what you're using? Are you using Divine Sense? Yeah, okay. So if you use Divine Sense, you detect nothing in the area that would equal anything that you could predict from no undead, no fiends, nothing like that. So, Celestial Fiend, what is it? Celestial Fiend, undead, or that's it, right? Yeah.
Yeah,
Nope.
Just sketchy shit.
Well, on the sketchy shit meter, it's just nothing. Just not even a blip on the needle, right? Okay, so the rest of you guys take your stuff off. Okay. As the grandfather goes in and touches your face, immediately you are brought back into the world of remembering your mission. You remember being summoned to Waterdeep. You remember being brought to the Temple of Ogma. You remember the promise that they made to you, that if you do go down here, if you do confront the evil that is Asirarak, and the name finally comes through, the lich god, the defiler, the one that has turned the world's magic against itself. And in your mind, even it was explained even to Grob that he understands that those that have died before, he's heard of people that have been brought back to life, great warriors, chieftains, ones that have fallen in battle and then been raised, that those that have experienced that type of restorative magic are all dying. And there's nothing that the shamans or the clergy or the priests can do to save them. And your job was to come down here. But now, while you remember being in the temple, being given this assignment, you do not remember why the others are there, except for one, Hezekiah. And you vividly remember now writing the letter that you wrote to yourself, the one that said that you're not supposed to remember. And you remember the smudge of the last line that you wrote, that the voice of Ogma reached down and smeared as soon as you wrote it. And it says, when the time comes, you must kill Hezekiah. And there is a flash, and you are brought back out.
Okay, yep, nothing bad happened. Oh, don't worry about it, guys. Good. I come around from this priest, and I'm like, he's got this look of holy shit on his face. I look nervously at Hezekiah. Right, okay, yeah, that was a nice,
right?
Nice touch, nice face touch. Thanks, priest.
Okay, at this point, he kind of waves away, and Raven says he can't do anymore. For some reason, it's taken too much out of him. I'm sorry, Rorik.
It is fine. I shall touch my own face.
You can go blind doing that, but that's fine.
Do you guys ever have to shave your palms?
Okay. So Raven is able to kind of briefly talk to Grandfather, and you guys have a few minutes while you're inside the area. I'm going to cut back to Josh for a second. Josh, while you are still meandering about the city, while you're looking around and you've just had your meeting, as you're going through there, you realize that the street is empty. Where before the small side street that you were on had been bustling with crowds, you had kind of drawn in by this kind of like a heliconia type of flower that was there. And as you were looking at it and watching, a praying mantis crawl across one of its stalks, when you looked up and finally looked around, the entire area is completely deserted.
His spear drops from because he's got his shield slung over on his left arm, and he drops his spear into his right hand and looks around, checks the rooftops, looks to either, is it like an alleyway, like two ways in?
Yeah, imagine like a non-hexagonal or a non-hex kind of driven city. Everything kind of meanders here, kind of curves and whatnot. So you're in a very small curved alleyway. You can see a good 25 feet down one end and then back to the cross street, maybe another 25 feet.
Okay, so immediately what I do is I barricade one side and wait for the Triceratops, and then I just...
Right.
I know I'm going to be safe. No, he looks around and is going to start making his way left. He goes left.
Okay, yeah, we can do directions if you want. Basically, if you want to on the map that we have, if you want to head up, that would be an eastern direction.
Okay.
If you want to head back to the main street, that would be a northern direction.
He's slowly going to start
offering,
quietly, and he's going to do this slightly stealthily because this is beautiful. I finally found.
Can I interject here? Chat has donated £40 under the name of Chat, and it says 4 times player curse. Sharing is caring. So each of us get a curse, and then Kiana donates £4. At least one of the trickster gods is somewhat merciful. How about some advantages for the players to balance out the bad stuff? Thank you, Kiana, and thank you, Chat, for that. Holy shit. So, the curse table is a D100 that we must all roll upon. Mike gets this Second curse for you, Mike.
Happy
Shut up,
days.
Will.
Shut up, Will. Yeah, do you want us to roll these now, Greg? So we
Oh
remember?
yeah, let's go ahead and let's roll them now. Yeah. I love my 9 trickster gods.
Oh shit. Okay, shall I read these out?
Oh yeah, just drop them, man.
All right. So Mike on a 35, yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Anytime the cursed player makes any sort of check or save based on dexterity, which by the way here's a +2 to now, excluding attack rolls that are based on dex, the DM must also roll a d20. On a roll of a 5 or lower, the check automatically fails and the player trips, causing them to go prone.
So I have to roll, and if my check is a
If yours-
5 or lower.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep.
So it's like it's a disadvantage, but I'm the disadvantage.
Yeah, pretty much. That's,
Okay.
that's beautiful. It's beautiful in its own way. Okay, let's see.
I rolled a 48 for Strider because his roll 20 is.
Oh, okay, so Strider gets... Oh my good lord, this is a lot of text. The afflicted player perceives anyone looking at them or alone with them as having pitch black eyes and pale white skin. They also perceive that person's voice as a lich's voice. Oh shit! This is so good! If that person,
And
if the
he's the
person
paladin.
that is subject of the curse's induced hallucinations engages the afflicted in dialogue, additional hallucinations incur. They can perceive their teeth and hair to fall out and turn to dust. Their eyes might bleed. 10 minutes after the subject of hallucination leaves the target's presence and line of sight, hallucinations can start again on another person.
Good thing we don't have any of those in this campaign.
Right?
I mean, Christ almighty. That's my
Holy
wheelhouse.
Shit. Okay, let's see. What did you roll, Josh?
A 23.
23, so you, whenever the afflicted player hears his own name, he is struck by the magic missiles. We're gonna say it so much. We're gonna say
So wait a minute, hold on a second. So when
We gotta kill you
someone
before you get to the temple.
holy
So-
shit.
when someone says Quinn, a magic missile comes out of nowhere
Yeah.
and hits him.
Fucking sick.
Somehow, I mean, you can work out how these curses work into the game. I mean, it doesn't have to immediately take place. I made it like cursed. Holy shit. Grant also wants to give NPCs advantage 4 times. So, Greg, you got 4 advantages to use for
No,
NPCs.
he's got more than 4 because of
I
the
got
beginning.
Oh yeah,
9.
you got more than 4. You got an
9.
additional 4. Yeah, holy shit. Okay. And then my own one was 85. It seems like the higher you go, the worse I get on this. Whenever... Holy shit. What? Whenever I try to eat, a milky white, otherworldly tentacle emerges from a moat of darkness and attempts to snatch away my meal. I may
Oh,
make
God.
a DC 15 athletics check to hold on to it.
I'm gonna need all this shit sent to me so I can figure out what the.
Holy
Will,
shit.
please tell me you wrote this.
Oh, I did not. No, I did not. It couldn't be better though.
Because a milky white tentacle is something you would absolutely write.
That definitely sounds like something I would do. This it knows me. It knows me too well.
Oh my god.
Thank you so
Chat,
much,
keep
chat,
them
for
coming.
that.
I'll figure it out. What's going on here?
All right, and this one I'll put these into the Zoom chat for you so you can have them all in one place.
Oh, thanks, man. Okay, Will. By the way, who gave me the advantages for the NPCs?
That was Grant, Mr. Grant Ellis.
Oh, Grant, Papa. Where's Papa Grant? Thank you, brother.
Holy moly! Okay, this is good.
All right.
I'm going to take so much damage.
I'm gonna say your name all the
It's
time.
just going to be that bit where it's like, I think someone's injured. Who is it? Quinn, don't stop.
He's injured now for sure.
How many HP you're on, Quinn? 3.
2, 1.
Okay, guys, let's bring it back down.
All
Let's
right.
get serious. Let's get serious.
Get back into it.
Okay, so we're in the alleyway. The alleyway is deserted as you start heading east, and all of a sudden you see a person come at the other end of the alley, and they go, "Quinn, Quinn, Quinn, where are you?" I'm joking. Not yet. Okay, so yeah, you're in the alleyway, and you're moving east. And why don't you give me a perception check as I try to remember all of this shit that you guys have now.
Does it have to be my full name? Or is it just...
Fuck off. Does it have to be Queen Kane of Clan Kalen?
Or the special name that only I know.
I was actually adopted. My born name is completely different to my taken name.
Not my true name. Yeah.
It's not my true name, dude.
It's not my druid name.
It's not my druid. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, no. So yeah, very carefully. Can I roll a stealth check to sort of approach, because I've reached a quieter part of town, and it'd be nice to remain in the quiet part of town. I'm avoiding people simply because I don't like people, because I fear them saying my name.
Quinn will also get struck whenever someone yells out douchebag. It just triggers it.
It's really weird.
You get your full name.
Your full name. Okay, you're pretty sure you're moving pretty stealthily. Do you want to roll perception for me?
Yes, I would, as I glance around and check out all of the things. 19.
Okay, with your perception check, you realize that on one of the rooftops, not necessarily a rooftop, but it seems at the second level of all of these homes and businesses have what is essentially open air second levels that may have just the entire wall is open on them. They're kind of covered and shaded with awnings, but I guess because of the heat, or so you can kind of surmise from the heat, whenever it rises up to the second level, to get any type of wind current through there, they have these great big kind of open terracey areas. And you see what appears to be two figures looking down at you.
Quinn just glances up, sees them, and sort of raises his shield across his torso, looks up. Do they react to him looking at them?
You see them kind of watch, make sure that you see them, and they slowly pull out of view.
I don't know what was creepier, the way you described it or the way you did it.
I'm creepy all around, man.
I've heard that one before.
Yeah. So, do I tell what they look like at all? Do they?
One of them has a very large kind of a rain hat on, and the other is cloaked and hooded.
Okay. In which case, I'm going to start making my way out of this alleyway and see what sort of lies beyond, as I am being followed by something.
It is almost an hour, by the way, since you told it's coming upon your meeting time with the others.
Okay. I'm going to get to the alleyway, end of the alleyway, see if there's anything of interest, and then I'm going to start heading back.
Okay. Roll one more perception check for me whenever you get to the alley's mouth.
And 18.
As soon as you kind of look back, not from the same terrace area, but from a different area, you see another figure looking and watching in your direction, and they too pull back as soon as they see you, but not until they linger for a second. They want you to know they're there.
The lurkiest of lurks. Okay.
They are.
Yeah.
They are. And there are 9 trickster gods, and some of them are lurkers in chat, and that's perfectly fine. Just make sure you vote so we can kill these guys.
Speaking of which, Artificer, cheers for 500. Can we curse them again? So the for a curse, it's 250 bits. If you look underneath the donate, that shows you all of the different bit amounts equal to what the different things are. You could do exclamation point donate as well. So you could either cheer a little bit more for a curse, or you could do like give a critical success or advantage, disadvantage. You can play with the bits that you have there. But yeah,
play with your bits, you know.
Play with your bits. That's all I'm
we
saying.
Encourage it.
Right.
Yeah. So when I get to the end, other than having discovered that I have a fan club who are seemingly douchebags, do I find anything of interest, or have I just sort of got myself lost and now being stalked?
Nothing of interest. As soon as you kind of re-emerge from the alleyway, the normal sounds of the city and the rest of the traffic continues. And as soon as you exit the alleyway, you actually see two what appear to be regular pedestrians enter from the opposite side that you can see, almost as if.
So it was almost as if I stepped out of reality for a second and very quietly walked along a desolate. Okay, all right. So he notes that was very unnatural, and he's gonna slip into the crowd, and make his way back to the rally point to see. Well, you know, he's gonna go back, poke his head, see that they haven't returned and that they're probably all dead, and then just
Right. They are too.
Yeah.
Let's go back and check them out then. Okay, so you guys are in the temple, and as you are preparing to leave, Grandfather can no longer, perform the divination that he had used on Hezekiah and Grob. You guys are getting ready to leave. The lucky thing about this, by the way, is I have not forgotten Mike's door phobia.
Of course.
But this is a wide open area. There is no technical door into these areas. So I've got it figured. So as soon as we hit one, we will experience that. Lest my trickster gods think I have forgotten. I have not. I have it written down here in a hodgepodge of...
That's right. And I think we've got a magic item for Rurik. I think that, other than that, and all the advantages and stuff, that's it at the moment. So.
Okay.
Incredible. Thank you guys so much.
Okay, so as soon as you guys go out, you realize that there are the 3 people who are still standing there waiting for someone to emerge from the interior of the temple. And as soon as you step out, one of them pulls back a hood, revealing a tall, pale-skinned man with slicked back black hair. As he steps forward, a smile on his face, and he says, "May I have a word of your time, a moment of your time, a word with you," something like that.
Any or one of those things, yeah.
Right. What were you talking to the old man about?
He was just touching my face.
He's a known face toucher.
Now, is Rurik perceiving this guy as a lich? Since that's his curse.
No, only when you're alone with somebody, right?
Yeah.
Anyone looking at them or alone with them?
I mean, that's up to Greg, I guess. Yeah. Otherwise, it might be a bit crazy.
I would much rather save this for when you're alone.
Okay, yeah.
If you're alone, and every time you're alone, somebody looks like something, that would be much better than you being in a group, so they can kind of...
Yeah.
I want your fear to run wild. So, these guys look fine.
I say, who's just touching my face, just doing priest stuff, I guess.
An hour of touching priest stuff.
Right.
It's been known to happen.
He only touched my face for like a little bit. Is he touching any part of you for over an hour? Concerning.
I don't think it was that long, really.
Right. I don't either. Don't let him touch you for an hour.
Excuse me, who are you, sir? Like a slick-backed individual.
I am a concerned citizen. I was looking for a fellow, an acquaintance of mine. His name is Simba, Artist Simba. Have you heard of him?
Artist Simba. Have I ever heard of this guy, Greg?
Why don't you roll me a history check?
What?
No.
You know what? I will.
Greg, are these the guys with the ruby?
They are.
Same guys? Okay.
Ruby Smile. That's an 8.
Nope. The name, while kind of catchy, doesn't ring any bells.
Holy shit! And chat donates another £30. I am very sorry. Okay, so we've got Artificer who has a curse to cash in on someone that he wants to all his cheering. We've got Raoul, I think, there, who's got another 3 people to choose from. So I'll let you guys decide, and then we will roll them here in a minute. Thank you guys so much for the support, by the way. It's incredible, helpful the channel, keeps us running. It's amazing.
Okay, so Artificer, he just he didn't name anybody. It was just
he's about to decide, I think. So
okay. Well, my suggestion is this, and then who was the person that had the 3?
Raoul Gamer, I believe.
Raoul Gamer, okay. Well, I don't have chat up right now because it makes my computer fuck itself. But could you ask and see if it would be okay? Whoever Artificer picks, we'll just give the other 3 to the people that didn't get it.
Okay.
Artificer picks Grob. So Grob was first, unless we want to go hog wild.
Okay. All right, well, I'll suggest.
Ask Ralph, that's okay, or you can drop 3 on
Mike.
Shut up, Josh.
Perfect timing.
You could also curse major plot NPCs because that's always fun.
All right.
Yeah, Raven doesn't have anything wrong with her. Curse Raven.
Josh, I've been meaning to invite you to a campaign so I can kill you.
Yeah,
Jesus, this is gonna. The planning for next week's going to be super and fun.
All right, this sounds good to Artificer and Ral. So looks like all 4 of us are going to be rolling a D100 here, boys.
So close to the magic number, 68.
Oh, 41. All right, let's get this table back up again, boys. All right then. 4 on group. What's wrong with you, man? All right, so Mike, what did you roll?
71.
71. You, my friend, all terrain is difficult terrain for you. If you take damage specifically on your legs, it does twice as much. Get fucked.
And you're what is it? A disadvantage on dex checks, or you can potentially.
I can just fall down on dex checks sometimes.
You're just the worst at walking.
I got wobbly knees, guys. I spent so many months at sea. I haven't got my legs.
You
yet.
let the priest touch you, and your legs.
And now I got wobbly legs.
Now you got wobbly legs. Walking is hard. You're right.
It's like the opposite of like the priests. Like, boop, you can walk again. Boop, you can't walk. What's happening? What's happening?
You're lame now instead of being the other way around.
This is the worst priest ever.
I was better before. All right, Strider, what did you roll, my friend?
A most noble 83.
83. All money is converted into copper as soon as it comes into your possession. This annoys anyone you're doing business with. Some people will refuse to do business with you at all because counting all that loose change is a nuisance.
So it doesn't actually. It remains the same value, but it suddenly is all.
It becomes copper.
It just becomes copper. So like you give him an astral diamond, and it becomes like 1 million copper.
He's just dead. He's just covered.
Covered. Oh, that's incredible.
Make a snatch for the ruby. Just make a snatch for the ruby, please.
All right, Quinn, what did you roll?
I rolled a 68.
Oh, you get the butterfly effect. Oh God, no. This is the first decision you make once you enter any town, establishment, or dungeon sets off a chain of events leading to something that either hurts you physically or hurts your social standing, making people wary of you.
That's terrible for me.
I was gonna say, just give the DM a Rube Goldberg machine, man.
Greg, I believe you had a story to tell. Just throw that out.
This becomes even easier for Greg. It's like, that thing that I was going to fuck you with before.
So I've basically just described the fact that I survived a boat wreck in which I should die, and now death is actually. I am in final destination in the tomb.
Oh, okay. So
Will, whenever he walks in, the first decision?
A tavern.
First decision. I mean, you could rule it as just being a town if you wanted. I mean, you'd have to go by the word from each of these if you want to make your own choices. For instance, my own one, a mirror image of me appears, and I feel inclined to violently attack it, and it does the same towards me. Any damage taken by either of you hurts you both.
Okay, I reserve the right for that one. I can make that happen when I want. Right?
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, you can do that when you decide. It doesn't have to be immediately now, but when you decide, a mirror image. Okay. Nice. Wow. Okay. Well, fuck. All right.
Okay, there's my whole sheet of terrible shit that you guys have done today.
Wow.
Thank you, chat. Thank you, guys.
Oh my God. All right. Shit. Okay. I know what I'm doing. Sure. Okay. All right. So back to the story right outside the temple. You guys are talking to slick-back-haired man. He has asked you for the knowledge of whether or not you possess the whereabouts of one artist Simber.
Okay, and I've never heard of this guy, and so I shrug my head and say, "Nope, never heard of this artist Simber. Seems like he'd be cursed. Seems like a curse name. Don't like it."
Roll a persuasion check for me.
Oh.
If it's a cursed name, stop saying it. We'll all be cursed.
Well, it's a bit like saying Quinn.
Kidding.
Kidding.
Right. You hear a scream in the distance.
My persuasion is a 3.
Okay. The guy's eyes narrow, and he turns to Rorik and Raven and Hezekiah. And you guys, have you not heard of artist Simber too?
Could you describe this artist Simber to me? Is it small, hand-sized, red in color? I've heard of that.
So you haven't heard of him? Or
I don't believe so.
Since you are telling the truth, roll a persuasion check for me, please.
11?
No,
11?
you guys are the most persuasive guys.
Perfect number.
Oh man, somebody needs to go back through and stat that shit.
Oh, I don't even. I can't.
I think Will did.
I think I tweeted it once with your rolls.
Yeah.
It was like, yeah.
At this point, he turns and looks at Rorik. Have you not heard of Artist Simba?
Should I have, friend?
Roll a persuasion check.
So just a 6.
Oh!
Finally,
Nice.
only the second number is a 6. I got a 15.
Oh, yes.
He takes you in a little bit more than he took in the other two, pausing briefly to look at both your tethered dinosaur and the hastily repaired hole in the middle of your breastplate, and kind of squints his eyes and seems to have trouble with you. And he turns back to Hezekiah and Grob. Why don't you guys come with us? Maybe we can talk about how you don't know Artist Simba.
Well, you see, I have an important meeting in about 15 or so minutes, but I could be persuaded. I saw that there was precious gemstones involved. How did that come about?
Are you asking us to bribe you?
No, I'm asking you to just give me and or tell me where you found that ruby that is hidden in your sleeve. I like them.
He pulls back his cloak and grabs the hilt of his short sword. This ruby?
I mean, if you want to compare sizes, I also have this diamond.
And he pulls out his rapier.
While they're comparing sizes, I'm gonna eye over at Raven and see what's she make of all this.
If she's impressed.
she's about it.
She does not look
See about that.
impressed.
She like that size.
Listen, it's big and thin and long. I can only do what I can do.
What's she make of these guys?
It's been a long day.
She likes broadswords.
It's cold in here. He likes
does
two-handers.
Right. Great swords, yes.
Girth is important.
Right. She is seeming to kind of pull back towards the temple interior, and the other two casually reach for their blades as well, seeing Hezekiah pull his blade out. And slick-back-haired man says, "This isn't going to end well for you. Why don't you come with us? We'll talk. We'll see what you do or don't know."
I was quite serious. I have a meeting in about 15 minutes.
No, you don't.
No, I really do.
What, the druid?
Yes.
Don't worry about him.
Well, all right.
Oh, you know Dirtman.
I forgot I said that.
Like a bolt of light just shoots out and
Hits him.
Have your men absconded him as well?
We aren't absconding anybody. We are, you want a meeting? We can have a meeting. We can sit down. We can talk all about this. We can talk all about Artist Simba. We can talk about rubies. We can
Listen,
talk
mate,
about what you're doing here.
I don't even know who you are. I don't know who this Artist Simba guy is. We're just here getting touched by an old man on the face, all right? Just
good, wholesome
Just
fun.
some good old-fashioned
As
priest
one
touch.
does.
Do you
Just
let
an
this
average day in Chult.
Don't go making this weird, man.
Yeah, I don't know who the hell this guy is, and he seems to be vaguely threatening us. So I say, we're gonna walk away now, and you can walk away in that direction as well. All right?
He starts to unsheath his sword. Do you let this beast talk for you?
Excuse me.
This orc? You heard me.
Oh dear.
All right.
Grub,
All right, buddy.
before you stab him, put your glasses on. He is an educated half-orc.
Oh.
He is.
Yeah, it's just like a vein pops. The great axe is unslung. Yeah. Real educated in a way of kick-ass.
Well, then why don't we roll some initiative?
Yeah, buddy. Let's make this about race, shall we? Let's do this. let's go there.
Right?
All right, baby. Find my sheet.
That's right, Strider. You spend that nat 20 on initiative.
Hey.
So Rurik looks like he's zoning out. He's just like looking up at the sky. Someone mentions a threat, and his sword is out and at this guy's throat.
And in fact, from an earlier donation in the last show, Greg, you do have a natural 20 to use, as well as your 9 advantages.
Oh, why do we get into a fight?
Don't tell him.
Why did we get into a fight again, guys?
I blame Grub.
Okay, so what do we got here, guys?
Give me 1 second. I can make sure my initiative is the number I think it is.
I really want Raven to like enter the temple, close the door, and then you guys like have to go through. And Hezekiah's just like, there's a portal to the abyss. I'll take my chances.
Yep. I rolled a 17.
We have a 21, 17, 14, and 12.
Okay.
The 12 is Greg.
It is me.
Yeah.
I won't use that nat 20 yet.
Uh-huh.
I'll wait for the T-Rex to show up.
Right?
Okay, Strider, you are up first, my friend, and you have 3 of these gentlemen in front of you.
Oh yeah, like I said, Rurik looks aloof, and the second that sword metal starts making any noise coming out of its sheath, his sword has been taken out two-handed and is going. He's gonna full round it and attack and extra attack right at the dude that was talking with the slicked back hair.
Okay, let's see what you got.
First one's a 17.
That will hit, sir. Why don't we get
Nice.
some? Get me some damage for that, please.
That soundtrack up.
Damn.
Damn.
Got 11 on my first one.
Damn.
There we go. Okay, give me 1 second to get on. My...
If he is still standing, oh yeah, for sure. If he's still going to be standing after that, I'm going to smite him too.
You're gonna add a little smite action.
Little smiteroonie.
He is still standing.
I have not
sir.
smote anybody in a while.
Have not been smitten.
Well, I will spend a spell slot.
A smattering of smite. You smite as well.
Smite as well. Smiting an extra 12 damage on him.
Okay, so as you come through and absolutely you nuke this guy, and then the divine flash goes off, and for a second he got his short sword out enough to kind of deflect it, but what you did was actually drove his own weapon into him, and for a second it's just the two of you. You're locked in face to face, almost in a world to yourself, and all of a sudden his skin goes white and his eyes go completely black, as for a moment when you're just taking him in first, he appears to become something else. Next person, Grob, what do you got for me?
What kind of something else does he look like?
He looks like something that the 9 trickster gods have given to Strider as something that whenever he's alone with somebody, he will see.
I gotta fucking hit this guy with my great axe. Big get a hit, boy.
Same guy?
Same guy. We're level 5 now, right?
You are.
Yeah.
So I should get my multi-attack.
You do. Get ready.
9's a miss, 20 should be a hit.
Oh, yeah, that'll do it.
1d12 plus 5. 10 damage.
Woo! How do you kill Slickback Hair Man?
Oh, hell yeah. I want to chop off his fucking face.
Just the face or the head or the...
Just the face.
part.
Just the face part, like halfway through the skull. So like there's brain and cartilage and blood, and half of his face comes off.
Okay. So as Rorik is locked in with this guy face to face, you see the white and you see the eyes go completely black, and then you see a flash of movement from behind, and then this new face slides away from the body, and you see the severed lolling tongue for a second that is down the throat as everything kind of brain matter just kind of sloshes out of this. And it's actually kind of soothing for Rorik because that's something he's seen before. This shit with somebody turning with white face with black eyes, you hadn't seen that yet. Grob, you got another attack, don't you, sir?
I actually missed on the first one. So
Oh,
the
that's
second
right,
one.
that's right.
So I chop off his face, spit on the floor, and say, "Two-faced son of a bitch."
Hezekiah.
Oh, well, what a dad joke that was. So what? Where are the other two guys, and do they have weapons drawn yet?
Yes, they have drawn their weapons, but you guys have the reaction time, and since this took place in the span of 7 seconds, they have not decided yet whether or not they are going to flee because their leader was just defaced.
Okay, literally.
Yeah.
Did I see where that one guy put that ruby?
I tell you what, roll a retroactive perception check to see if you can remember. You're pretty sure the leader had it?
Okay. So you would see Hezekiah put one hand behind his back and holding out the diamond rapier, and he settles down into like a noble fighting stance as green flames lick the blade, and I cast Green Flame Blade. So I cast Green Flame Blade on this diamond rapier, and I stab this guy with an 18.
Yeah, that'll hit.
Okay, so he takes 13 damage. Then he takes another person adjacent to him, so the other guy takes green fire damage as it licks off the blade and lands on the other guy, dealing
D8,
something.
right?
I don't know. On hit suffers the normal effects. Green flame, blah blah blah. I don't know. Does it say? Maybe not. Sure, we'll go with the D8. It doesn't say in the spell. I'll go double check.
He takes fire damage equal to your spellcasting ability modifier.
Oh, there we go. So my spellcasting ability modifier is intelligence. Yes, intelligence. He takes two fire damage as it leaps off the blade. And because I am a arcane trickster, the wiggling fingers behind my back is my ghostly invisible mage hand, and I'm using my bonus action to root around in the dead man's pockets and find a ruby.
I tell you what, since this seems to be like a lot of things going on, why don't we do a dex check, Mike?
Let's do that. Oh, ghost time.
Like a sleight of hand? Is that like a dex?
Yeah, that's a dex, but
Sure.
That's like hand of deck space, right?
27?
you good.
Yeah, you're good. I didn't get a 5.
Yes.
So as you're rooting around through there, boy, this is gonna be super fun to remember all this shit.
Right.
As you're right, how do you do it, Will? As you're rooting around through everything, you can feel through your arcane essence and presence. The hand goes around something that seems pretty hard, about fist sized, and you're hoping it's the ruby.
10 out of 10. All right, that's his turn.
Massage it.
Okay, I'm gonna have these boys. Yeah, all right. These guys are going to book it, and you all get attacks of opportunity.
Oh,
Now,
yeah.
you only get one attack of opportunity, so you need to tell me which one you would like to try it before you roll. You've got one guy that Hezekiah hit a little bit with his green blade, and then another guy who got barely touched by the green flame. So a guy that's pretty hurt and a guy that's sort of not hurt too much.
I'll go for the sort of not hurt because my damage dice is fairly high. More likely that I'd get him, I guess.
Sounds good.
So that would be a 10 versus his armor class.
That will miss.
Yep.
The 17 will hit, though. And which one were you going after, Mike?
My commute. It's alright, I actually like it.
The one that I already hit. Thanks, Will.
Okay, he's still running. Rorik, you have a shot here.
Only get one shot.
Oh!
Yeah, that
How's a
might.
26?
Holy.
Okay, which one would you like to focus your ire on?
I'm gonna hit the one that's already hurt.
How would you like to kill the one that's already hurt and now dead?
Rurik's gonna just go back to his tried and true method of running this guy completely through the stomach and out through the back. Runs him through, knocks him down, tries to pull the sword up out of the corpse. And part of his paladin code is he cannot let people that he thinks are evil or have done bad get away from him. So he has to chase after the other guy. Like single-mindedly, that is all he is focusing on.
Okay.
He tunnel visions on this other guy, and he's going to try to chase him down.
Okay, so you're in hot pursuit of the guy that got away. Anybody else planning to run after?
I think I probably would, yeah.
Okay,
Grob's
so
going for it.
we've got Grob. Grob, you are not going... everybody, what is your Constitution modifier for me, please?
3.
+2.
+1.
Okay, are you running after too, Mike?
No, Hezekiah is sweaty enough, and he just engaged in fisticuffs, and it's hot out, so he's just going to launch firebolts at this guy until he burns to death.
Okay. All right. So he's running. He's going to dash 60 feet. Would get him at the end of. Let's see. Oh, actually, we're back in the turn order. So, Strider, these guys booked it, but you've got the first action here. He is 30 feet away from you.
Okay, that gives me 1 attack, if I'm not mistaken, to run up and...
You should have 2 attacks, I believe. There's a paladin level 5.
Oh, is that not a full round action? I've been playing 3.5.
Yeah, no. When you make the attack action, you get a multi-attack.
Well, I got a 27 with a natural 20. And then a 15.
Baby. Pretty.
Jesus.
Got 25 damage with the first hit.
Okay, well he's got 25 hit points left. So how do you kill this guy when he gets 30 feet away?
Rurik just like he pins this one guy down and he's like gasping, steps on his face, pulls his sword out. The other guy's trying to run away. No, you don't! Just sprints after him, cleave right into him, knock him down to the dirt. He's probably already dead, but Rurik is repeatedly bashing him in like his skull, his chest cavity, all that.
Okay, so as Rurik is stomping, pulling a Negan on this guy, and splattering him everywhere, Hezekiah and Grob, you are witness to Thesaurus, the blue-scaled raptor, kind of coming forward, and its mouth just barely opens around the strap around it, and you see its tongue come out as it begins to lick the face matter off of the one that was cleaved off, and it seems to be drawing some of it in as it takes care of itself a little bit.
Good boy, Thesaurus.
You guys have drawn a bit of a crowd here.
Yeah.
It was happened super quick. I mean, this is literally like 30 seconds have gone by, and these 3 guys are dead.
Rurik's laughs are probably drawing some attention too.
I'm gonna say, quick, search him. We want to know about this guy, Artis. I'm gonna quickly turn over some bodies.
Okay, why don't you guys do investigation for me, since you're
having a mosey. Nat 20, baby.
Wow.
Okay, just going.
Luke.
Grob's able to find obviously all of their weapons that they had on them, but you're also able to find what is essentially you aren't given a name, but it's given a description. And in addition to that, you see several notes of credit given to different areas across the city. They seem to be signed by the seals that are given on them. You don't know the names in particular, but they appear to be whatever consists of royalty or goes for royalty in the town of Port Nyanzaru. But the description that you see is of a humanoid man in his late 40s, early 50s, gray-black hair, standing at roughly 6.5 feet tall. There's also a secondary description given for a lizard-type creature standing around 5.5 feet tall, rumored to be a saurial.
Okay. Well, I grab it up really quickly. I probably don't give it too much of a look over, and I tell the guys to say, we should probably get out of here because we just murdered people. And I set my glasses straight on my nose.
We murdered people on holy ground. It's fine.
Oh, okay.
We're in the street. The holes are in the ground that way.
Right, so let's go back and meet Quinn.
Hezekiah wiggles his hand, and then the invisible hand comes. What is it holding?
It is holding a fist-sized ruby.
Sweet. It immediately just disappears into one of.
Friend?
You may not. And it disappears into his pocket. Nope, I am currently holding it. You just see it like drop in a pocket.
Rurik
Okay.
pats the Saurus and gives him
Brain.
positive reinforcement. Yes. Yes, and brain matter.
Okay, yeah, you've drawn some attention here, guys. I'm assuming you're going to head off towards Quinn, correct?
I think we're gonna book it.
Okay. So you guys make it. You find that for whatever reason, Hezekiah is lagging behind you guys a little bit. Even though you're kind of two-stepping it and getting moving, he seems to be, I don't know if he's weak in the knees or if he's just maybe had a little bit more taken out of him than normal. But if you guys are dashing, he's moving at regular speed. But he appears to be really trying to keep up with you guys.
Okay.
Rurik's not going that fast. He's proudly marching through the street to go meet his friend. He thinks he's done nothing wrong.
Hezekiah just thinks she's like,
Yeah, Hezekiah's always trying a little too hard. So it seems pretty normal, I guess.
Okay. Rob's probably got his wits about him in terms of probably thinks we're fugitives right now, not knowing what the punishment system in a place like this might be.
Right. And I know that Will does, and I know that Will is correctly running. Right. Okay, so as you guys get forward, at this point, Quinn, you're basically sitting there waiting, figuring, oh, well, hell, they're dead. And they didn't make it. And you see Grob come first, running. You see Raven coming forward after that. You see Rurik proudly marching through with his raptor at his side and its snout is just covered in blood, almost purplish because of the blue skin or the blue tint to its skin. And you see Hezekiah just drenched in sweat, really bringing up the rear.
Quinn sees them running and realizes that there's probably something bad, so he steps back into the crowd to hide himself. Unfortunately, the crowd isn't there anymore on a 7 stealth, so he just steps back and he's like, "Oh crap! Oh, and everyone's shit!" And they sort of will see him plain as day.
Right. So, guys, you see Quinn straight ahead. What would you like to do?
There was a murder.
Oh, dirt.
I pronounce murder loudly.
Someone over there was murdered. It's terrifying.
It was by me.
That was
We
us.
ran
That
from
was...
the... Shut up.
Oh.
We ran from the scene of the murder. It was terrifying.
I terrified them because I murdered someone.
Shut up.
Okay. What would you guys like to do?
We're back at the harbormaster, right?
Harbormaster.
Correct. You're at the harbormaster. Because of the earlier perception, the nat 20 that Hezekiah got, you have passed several inns. You believe that the two that you have seen in particular are, as soon as I can find them in my notes. Give me a second. No, that's not it. Nope, that's not it.
Kill the
there's two
party.
of them.
Destroy Mike. Curse them again. No.
We have one of the other ones. We go to one of those.
Go
One
to
of
one.
the two.
Right. You passed two of them. One was the Thundering Lizard, and the other was Kaya's House of Repose. Just in your cursory glance, and with a nat 20, I'll give it to you. Kaya's looked more high-end. The Thundering Lizard looked more...
Rough and ready.
Yeah,
We're going to Kaya's.
Okay. We're going to Kaya. Okay.
Go on now.
Okay, so as you guys head towards Kaya's House of Repose, you are met with something that might actually be to Hezekiah's standards. As I describe it, maybe, maybe not. When you get there, you see a very, very well-kept terrace garden that empties out into the street, but it has 4 guards outside. They're not necessarily keeping people out as much as they are making sure that there is a bubble from the public to the actual people that are taking care of or benefiting from Kaya's House of Repose. As you approach this beautiful structure that has the hanging flowers and the cisterns and the water kind of rushing around it in gentle gutters that are almost crafted as with an artisan's eye, Hezekiah, as you look at the front of the door, you see what appears to be a swirl of color and just a white, almost like a vortex in the door.
Yeah, he looks to everyone and says,
This place is ensorcelled by magics. We shall stay here, divine protection, or some other means.
I look impressed. What kind of magic?
I don't know. What am I, a magician?
Oh, I thought you were. Are you not?
No, do you not see the swirling vortex? It's clearly a portal to another dimension.
Oh, yeah, I know, I see it. Got my shoulders.
Right, yeah, you see nothing.
Takes his glasses off. He's like, oh, I got it.
I got it there.
Okay, so the closer you get, and as much as you want to believe that this is another portal, there is that small element of dread that you might not be right about this, because even though you're a consummate bullshit artist, you can't bullshit yourself as much as you think you can. So I need you to roll a wisdom saving throw for me.
Sure. Oh, that's going to be great. 7?
Please?
I'm starting the DC's low. So you're able to kind of steel yourself. A little squirt of piss comes out, and you barrel your way through it, and you pop out into this half restaurant, half bar. There's a pair of tabaxi musicians over on the side, gently playing violins and other stringed instruments, and you are, Hezekiah, whatever your ideals of high living, you found it. Here
But
it
with
is.
trees also.
With trees everywhere. Right, it's like a rainforest cafe.
Yeah.
Here it is. And you are immediately greeted by serving people as they come up and, rooms, food, wine.
Yes, all of these things are great.
All of them, yeah.
At least 2.
Bring me one of everything.
Any or all of those. All of the above, please. Yes.
If you could also go outside and just get a scoop of dirt, my friend will sit there.
And he looks like he did a good thing to Quinn.
I helped you out,
I
buddy.
got you, buddy.
Quinn looks incredibly angry, but he's looked angry the second he walked into this place, and is just sort of eye twitching. Doesn't seem to have paid any attention to Hezekiah.
Your imaginary friend is kind of a dick.
Okay, so as you guys are ushered back to a far booth, it seems like it could hold probably about 8 people, but you guys are all able to slide in comfortably. They do take the Saurus, though, and kind of tether him back in a large kind of free-range pen area where there appear to be other muzzled beasts. It seems it's a rather common thing to carry around, maybe as personal protection or beasts of burden, but dinosaurs are very, very high-end property in Port Nyanzaru. Just kind of a little meta for you. So anybody that has them, they are kept safe, they are kept well, and it actually adds to your station to be seen with one.
Can Quinn enter the pen?
They'll allow you to get close to the pen, but there are guards there that prevent you from actually going in because they want to make sure that everybody's animals are kept safe.
He sort of looks at one of them and says, "Where did these beasts sleep?"
If their masters stay, we have a separate pen. We do not let them sleep together. They will rot or
How much for a pen?
do you have a beast or we can keep it here and
I have a bear.
it seems like he's not quite sure what you mean by that, but just says it's just 1 silver on your bill. It's if you just show me the beast and we will take care of it. It will food and
It's never mind. And he sort of looks forlorn, longingly at the accommodation he really desires, and then heads back into. He's just shit.
Yes, sir.
Heads back in to sort of see the fucking chaos that Hezekiah is causing. He's convinced himself Hezekiah is so you on a spirit quest you have a good spirit that sort of guides you, and then there is the opposite of that, which is the temptatious bastard of the spirit, and that is Hezekiah in his eyes.
Yeah, he's one of the 9 trickster gods, turns out.
Yeah, that's entirely what I will assume immediately.
we just don't know, do we? Okay, so yeah, you guys get inside Kaya's house of repose. Everything is included in your 1 gold piece per bed nightly stay. all you can drink, all you can eat, all the music that you can handle, and for the extra silver piece, you'll be able to take care of Thesaurus. He'll get the same treatment inside his own pen. You guys are at a crossroads here. I can suggest some things that you need to do, but...
All right. Well, I tell you one thing that we could do. We could thank Artificial Mashara for cheering 1250. It's too safe, and Quinn isn't happy enough. Curses upon this place. Quinn, why don't you roll me a D100, buddy? Go Artificer.
This is exactly what happens when you go to a place this disconnected from nature. Okay, 19 happens.
It's as soon as things get safe, that chat decides it's time. So at 19, okay, good.
Quinn is angry.
You have the explosive curse of grafting. A couple of this one out in chat again for you. The target's off arm. Oh, holy shit. Okay. The target's off arm, so whichever arm isn't your main arm, erupts in an explosion of green magical energy. Growing from the stump is this is perfect. Is a small plant whose roots are sealing the wound. The player takes the same penalties as a one-armed player. If left more than a day, the plant will slowly start to grow into an arm-length branch over the course of a week. The process is sped up by exposure to water and light, but only if from arcane sources. Once fully grown, the branch will grow 1d3 berries per long rest, which heal 2 hit points each. You become a fucking tree end, dude. You're about to become a fucking tree.
When you are so angry that there is no nature, you decide to bring nature. You just blow your own fucking arm off.
Holy mackerel. And again, Greg, you can decide when to bring that one in, what triggers that, how that works.
I walk up to the bar and, like, as I slam my fist out to the bar to demand something, my arm.
You just blow off your own arm.
I'll let you handle this one, but...
Hey, can someone fireball my arm?
Right.
Wow.
Wow, that's perfect. Like... I'm telling you guys, there's real magic in these tables.
Yeah. Oh yeah.
Okay, Will, what else did you guys get? What else were they given? I know that was there crits or something in there too, or
no,
we've
that
all got
was
an advantage.
Everyone has an advantage at the moment.
Okay.
You've got the 9 advantages. Strider's got I believe it's a Horn of Valhalla, which he rolled on the Warwick table, a magic item to come up. Brass one.
Look. You got a what? A horn?
A Horn of Valhalla, yeah.
Which I think summons, like
Berserker
the Viking
barbarians.
Yeah, Berserker barbarians.
From Asgard. From Asgard.
I've always wanted a character to get one of those, and it just never came up.
Oh, cool.
So, tremendous thanks to Donator, whoever did that.
Okay.
That was
Holy
cool.
shit. Okay, I've got it. Okay.
I'll post the stuff for the horn in our chat.
No problems. I got this.
Does, man. Doing great.
Okay, so you guys sit down. You're able to get some nice. It's almost the calm before the storm, thanks to the 9 trickster gods. You guys have the following to do. Now, you all have maybe things that you were told in private. You also have you got lodging. You have lodging. What I can tell you is, if you are thinking about going into the interior, which you should be doing that because each of you have things that you need to do. And then the ability to maybe find somebody that can guide you through the interior of Chult.
Yeah. Well, yeah, I think Grub will say, well, it seems like we'd best go towards the interior of Chult if we want to get stuff what we came here to do done. So, seems to me as though we need to find a guide for all that.
No, I can do it.
You sure?
Yeah, so, apparently I was the guide.
Oh. Really?
Yeah, when the elderly man touched my face, he reminded me that I'm a guide.
Guide, have you heard of a place called Camp Vengeance?
You made that up.
Okay, he is not a guide. We will shall hire a guide to take us to Camp Vengeance.
Good idea.
And all shall be made clear.
Why would we go there?
Yeah, why would we
Because
go
that
there?
is my mission. That's why we had our memories erased. Because we are to go to Camp Vengeance.
I don't
Presumably for vengeance.
There is a evil at the heart of this island, and I think I'm supposed to kill it.
Me
Exactly.
too. Me too. And I look at Hezekiah.
Yeah. Not Camp Vengeance. We're gonna go kill evil.
No,
can have
I'm pretty certain that the Order of the Gauntlet is at Camp Vengeance, and they shall help us smite the evil in the middle of the island.
Well, if we can find a guide, we can see if it's along the way.
Everything's always along the way.
I don't wear gauntlets.
Do you not see these rail tracks that lead directly towards yeah.
We shall follow them.
It's like we have 4 episodes left.
Onwards!
Quinn comes forward and says, I find this uncomfortable, but I find myself agreeing with the tin can.
Who's that?
He's like super Irish now. Oh, Quinn, hey. Well, if Tin Man's right, I mean, Camp Vengeance sounds okay to me. I say we find a guide first of all, because then they might tell us, oh no, don't go to Camp Vengeance, that sounds like an awful place to go. Or they might say, yes, go directly to Camp Vengeance, and then we know to go there.
See,
Who
I
the
can
hell
lead
is
us directly to evil.
As soon as Grob was talking, the lamp that's on the table that's providing illumination to the group, it sparks, and you see an arcane blast of kind of like a purplish, I don't know, projectile, for lack of a better word, comes screaming out and hits Quinn directly in his left arm. And it kind of burns there for a second. It turns greenish, but otherwise the arm seems fine, but you've taken 5 damage.
Cool.
Who the hell is Quinn? That's Dirtman.
Oh, right, yeah.
Yes,
Sure.
Quinn Dirtman.
I forgot that's
yes.
your proper name.
Oh.
Have you never used a lantern before?
What's wrong with your arm?
Okay, 2 more shoot off and slap into you for 8 damage.
Okay, that's enough of this. I'm going to take this away from you. You don't know how to use lanterns at all. What's wrong with you?
Some kind of weird green lantern.
God damn it.
Like a CGI suit begins to form on my arm, and I just cut it off. I'm like, no!
That's how you actually sever your own arm. That's how it comes off.
Just
no. Oh.
Brightest day and darkest night.
Shut up!
He's Deadpool or nothing.
Deadpool just sat at the bar, just like, Quinn just like stands up, like throws his chair back angrily at the fact that this place is fucking attacking him.
Yes, he's the one that needs the dirt.
And I turn around, look for who. Some waiter's staff have to have seen this if we're sat around a table and we're sort of being waited for. Surely
They saw the flashes, and you see your waitress comes over. May I help? And the lantern's on the ground, and the chair's toppled over. Sir, you all right?
Quinn looks down to like his seared jerkin where it's sort of like burnt away, and sort of does his arm look? I mean, I know he's hurt, but does it like show on the surface that he's injured?
I mean, it basically you're showing damage from where your actual garments caught flame, not so much the impact of the projectile.
Cool. So he looks at her. He looks to his garment and he says, "Your establishment has damaged my clothes."
Oh, I'm so sorry. She kind of scoots off and comes back, and when she comes back, she has a pitcher of like cool water, and she pours it onto a rag and hands it to you. And
he just takes the pitcher off her and just begins to pour it over the.
Oh wait, you can do that too as well. Yes.
Begins to pour it over the wound to sort of just.
She's kind of watching it go over your arm and puddle up on the floor, knowing she's going to have to clean that in a second. Yeah.
Now, my good lady, if you could put the dirt on the water, save yourself some time, he'll sit in that as well. But also, is there anyone in your establishment that is a jeweler or knows a jeweler? Artificer? Works with jewels, gems, stones?
We could have someone come from the jewel market.
That would be great.
Yes, the jewel market.
Yes, have someone also come from the hunting and guiding and vengeance market as well, please.
That does not exist.
no such market.
Yeah, certainly it will.
Do you need guides? Is that
Guys,
she's
is
kind of
what we
picking
need.
up?
We need this.
Yes, my lady.
Please.
You want to go see Jobel? He's in charge. All the guides have to work for him. He's
Our real name.
Well, that depends. What do you know of this Fort Savage?
Vengeance.
That's what I said.
Camp Vengeance.
That also applies.
she's kind of picking up the words as each people say.
We're just terrible tourists.
Right. Camp Vengeance is the Order of the Gauntlet. It's off
Yes,
the
I know.
Shoenstar River. It's south of here.
Good people, bad people, vengeance people. What are they about?
The Order of the her eyes kind of tick over to Rorik, and she goes, "They're sort of like knights, like him."
He just wears that for fun, I believe.
Well, maybe they do too.
Okay, well.
They're speechless,
so good,
Jobber.
on the scale of good to bad, what are we? Good guys.
Yes. Go the other way. Yes.
Good guys?
Yes.
Oh, okay. Then we can
Everyone
go.
who wants vengeance is good.
That's literally not true.
As this is all going on, Quinn is just glancing towards all of like the lanterns in the room, and every time he glances to one, he sort of waves his hand, and the lantern goes out. He is snuffing out every single lantern in this
Just thaumaturgy of the whole room.
No, in Druidcraft, man, he just puts out all of the candles in all of the lanterns, just one at a time. Yeah. He's not being subtle about it either. He just sort of like holds out his hands. People are eating dinner and just and now can't see their own dinner.
A couple of the people, why the fuck is it so dark? And then, at that point, you see I must, and she goes over and she's got a brand out and she's trying to relight them. And I'm assuming as soon as she lights, and they're going out as soon as she turns away, right? So this cat and mouse goes on for a while.
I gotta go find this. Let's go find this Jubble guy.
Yes, we shall. Jobble.
What time of day is it, Greg?
You're getting into evening now, so while at this part of the world the day tends to be a little bit longer, you're probably around 7 o'clock in the evening because you arrived around midday-ish.
Okay.
So.
If everyone looks like they want to leave, he looks over to this not serving wench, because this is a nice place. This waitress. He says, "Now the man from the jewel market. When will he arrive?"
Because your friend was hurt, I'll have someone come. We've already sent word. Maybe an hour.
Great. We'll go to Jobo. That's what you said. We'll go to Jobo and we'll talk to him. We'll be back in about an hour.
Jobol, yes, Jobol, Jobol. Here's another letter. Okay.
Now a good time to give Quinn another curse from Artifice of Ashara.
Man, why isn't it a good time?
When isn't it? Yeah. Good point. All right, D100, Josh.
I feel like I've angered someone.
I feel like you've done something karmically wrong recently.
And I don't know what it is.
Josh, I want you to take a second and just absorb this feeling and know what it feels like to be mad.
Wait.
God. This is gonna bring back memories for Greg. You get the Curse of Tongues. A creature's tongue rapidly grows 1d4 feet in length. Spells with verbal components which require an attack roll have disadvantage, and enemies have advantage on saves made with verbal components. You have disadvantage on charisma checks which involve speaking.
That's seriously fucked up.
That's a good one.
Wow.
That's a good one. You can roll 1d4 to see how many feet your tongue grows.
Well, if it's one, he's just Gene Simmons.
Right. Holy shit.
It really isn't one. It's free.
Is it like wraps up in folds, like one of those Fruit Loop things when we were
Like a
kids?
fruit roll up.
Like a fruit
Fruit
roll
by the
up.
foot. Fruit by the foot. Fruit by the foot.
Yes.
Oh my god. Okay. All right. Jesus. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So, Quinn, are you leaving to go with them? You're just leaving, right? You had enough of this, and you stood up and you were.
Well, my father's business was to go to sale.
Quinn, It's rude to speak with your mouth full.
Hit by a bolt of light. Just...
You guys look over and you see that as he's sitting there, and you could tell that he was doing something to turn off the does Druidcraft have a verbal component, or is it semantic?
No semantics, really.
It is, no, it's a verbal component.
It does?
Yeah.
Okay, so as you're putting out the different flames, all of a sudden you do it and it doesn't work. And you realize that there's something in your mouth that shouldn't be there, and it's getting larger and larger. And the rest of you witness and you see this appendage come out. And while it bears a resemblance to a tongue, it certainly doesn't look like an elven tongue. And as it pops out and kind of lolls to the side, it has the split tail on the end of it of a fiend of some type, or one associated with a serpent or associated with a fiend. And as it pops out for a second, you see him and he's able to kind of draw it back in, and he can keep it there. But Quinn, Josh, you're having problems just maintaining it in your mouth. You realize that you can extend it when you relax, when you kind of let your guard down. It lolls out to its full 3 foot, 2.5 foot length out of your mouth. But when you concentrate, you can draw it back up and you can speak, but you now have a forked tongue.
I'm a snake. I look at Quinn like, you okay? What's wrong?
Friend, your witchcraft has offended the gods. They are angry at you.
Some kind of weird magic. Did anyone do magic?
Sometimes I can do magic, yes.
Well,
That's what got him into this problem, witchcraft.
I don't know, see what's wrong with him. See if he can get rid of that weird tongue thing going on there.
We should leave this place.
Don't make that a thing.
Oh, okay.
We all know you're just doing that. You don't actually make that
Is there some kind of illusion joke again?
I can get rid of it, and he grabs the hilt of the sword.
Before he severs his tongue off, can I look at this thing and see if I know what kind of curse would cause this?
Sure, yeah. Roll an Arcana check for me, please.
20 when?
Ooh. Okay, so from just looking at this, it appears that you don't know a lot about this. This isn't necessarily your forte, but you're able to glean from this that this is the type of curse that is usually given between rivals of a magic order, where you maybe perhaps can't best. You've heard of this happening between mages when they duel. If a mage gives a large tongue to maybe an opponent of greater power, it levels the playing field during a mage duel. And that's the only thing that you can actually pull up that you've heard about somebody getting this oversized split tongue before, is basically a curse used as a last resort to even the playing field between a lesser and a superior wizard.
Do you want to look at are you examining the tongue?
I want to inspect it, but I feel like
he's like holding your face like the old man.
No, like you do that, and immediately his tongue just lashes out and like wraps around your arm.
It's a good time to curse Hezekiah then. Thank you.
Yes, it is.
God damn it! Why is this my life?
All of this stuff's going on, and Rurik's like, that waitress is nice. I shall leave her a tip. And he has this bag, like this large of copper pieces. He's like, 1, 2.
You were given
3,
200 gold pieces from
4,
the pirates. You had so many
5.
gold pieces.
That's a
14.
14.
14, let me have it.
So we actually got this one earlier today, but it's perfect as well for Mike. We didn't have it in this game. Any attempts to open a door, chest, or similar device is impossible unless the player succeeds on a DC 15 intelligence saving throw. On a failure, the player is completely perplexed by the mechanics of the door or chest. So you're fucked up by windows and you have no idea how to open doors and you can't walk.
No good thing we're not playing a deadly.
Yeah, it's only Tomb of Annihilation, right, guys? Holy shit.
Oh shit.
So I'm gonna, yeah, okay. So your giant lizard tongue lashes out, and he like sort of just lets it happen, and you just see a look of disgust as he kind of yanks it, towards him and begins looking up and down your 3-foot-long tongue.
Quinn has some very vicious-looking teeth, and he looks at you angrily.
Roll a inspection or investigation check for me.
Roll a sanity check.
Right, I was totally Cthulhuing out there for a second.
12.
For a second, and once again, this is not your forte, but when you're pulling it out, you notice that there is a flare of purple glyphs that run from the tip of the tongue, almost like a pulse, back into his mouth.
And as you're like trying to pull your tongue back in, you feel the pressure of my invisible hand on your face, holding it as I'm looking at the runes.
I bite you. I try and bite into your hand without biting.
It's an invisible mage hand, just holding your head back. So you can bite at it, but you just look like a special trying to eat at nothing. Look like a weirdo.
I'm looking at all of this, and I'm
You also cannot bite with your tongue out, by the way.
No. I was just sort of like trying to bite at, can't.
I'm so sorry about all this, everybody. Guys, just go find Joggle, whatever his name is.
Well, this is important. Now, have you ever met a rival Dirtman, druid?
Think about what you're doing at the moment.
Well, have you? You see, here there are runes, and I believe that you have been cursed by a rival druid. Have you pissed off anyone other than the rest of us?
I take a step, like, to Hezekiah, if I can. In fact, I move my head to the side.
Yeah, it's only like 5 pounds of pressure, so you can just move around it.
I just move, and I go up to Hezekiah, and I just sort of put a comforting hand on his shoulder, and a gesture, sort of like with my eyes, just to the tongue, like, let go of my tongue.
Oh! And he, like, just puts his hand down so you can unravel
it.
it.
Just soothes back in, and he nods.
You have pissed off someone.
There are people who are looking to...
The gods. He pissed off the gods. 74, 75, 76.
Okay, hey, and thank you so much to chat, donates £10. Rurik gets another magic item. Dude, that's awesome.
Oh, God damn it.
So you got this...
54,
That is fantastic. That's 166?
That's a D166 on the Warwick table.
Warwick for Rurik.
Exactly, Warwick on Rurik.
I'd watch that porn. Sorry.
We make it here. That's what we're doing at the moment. Holy shit. Okay, let me find
Rurik swings both ways with his mighty broadsword.
This is true. I have actually witnessed Warwick Davis porn on Encounter Roleplay, and it's not something I ever want to go back to.
It ain't pretty, but it gets the job done.
I got a 73.
73. I'll look this up here just a second. So not only do you have the Horn of Valhalla on its way, a 73 is the Cloak of the Bat, which is on...
No shit.
Son of a bitch!
159 of the DMG, Cloak of the Bat for Stride. That's awesome.
I know what it does.
That's a good one.
It's a real fucking good one.
It's a real...
It's a fucking... God damn it.
Well, listen, man. I mean, with the rest of these guys in here, someone's going to have something they can do. Okay. So... What are you guys doing? Examining the tongue, or are we...
Yeah, so he was talking to Quinn, and he says,
Now, who have you pissed off? It appears as though you've been cursed.
He shakes his head and just says, no. There is someone, an organization that works against us here. I believe that we are all being influenced. When you take the first few steps on a spiritual quest, there will always be illusions, figures that could never exist, who come to try and take you away from the path. And those individuals are best dealt with swiftly, he says, smiling at Hezekiah, who is an illusion.
That's pretty good. That's pretty good.
You're just here to get under my feet, and I'm on to you, buddy.
He doesn't understand anything that you're trying to say, and he just says, yes, but as I said, who is trying to stop you?
Me, if we do not hurry up. What comes after 153?
152.
Oh, okay, 152.
151, 150. Just start counting backwards.
He goes all the way back down.
0. I barely tipped her anything. It's just a massive mound of coins. Yeah, he.
Oh, I mean, Josh is.
How anticlimactic.
Oh yeah, he's gonna.
He looks at Hezekiah.
We can finally get something done.
As that's happening, Artificer cheers 1-250, but this is a good one. Cheer for Quinn to have something nice. That's also a magic item, but the catch is it'll be on the body of the druid that cursed you. Thank you, dude. Appreciate that.
I like that.
We might see that next session or later on.
Yeah.
1d166. 100.
Yeah.
166.
I'll roll this now, and I'll whisper this to Greg so that you know what it is until run into this. Ooh, okay, cool. All right.
Okay. I bet it's not cool. It's like we're just like, ooh, cool. It's a donga.
It's cool. It's good. It's good.
Says, well, whatever secrets you keep, Quinn, they are coming to find you. Clearly, they are attacking you all over the place, and your tongue as well. So, hide what you will, but the truth will come out.
I have just been hit by another magic missile. If you'd like to roll the damage for that, buddy.
Yeah, you know what? You get hit, but you dodge it in time somehow. You dodge a magic missile.
You dodge a magic missile, yeah.
The waitress walks up just in time, and she's picked up all the coins that Rorik has, and she goes, "Is there anything I can?" Boom!
She's got them all in the coins
go flying through the air.
Just a slapstick.
Oh no, I'll have to tip her double since she got hurt.
I say, all right, I'm going to find this Jubble guy.
Listen, I'll follow you.
Okay, so you guys are able to get out, and you realize
most traumatic dining experience ever.
Right.
Like
Rorik just pours like half of his money out on the table. I'm sorry.
You're basically carrying 100 pounds of coin right now. So as you're going through the city, you're able to kind of get directions as to where you should be going for this Jobo, and it's not hard to find. He's one of the merchant princes of the area, and for Port Nyanzaru, every conceivable trade or commerce goes through a specific one of the 7 merchant princes. Jobo is the one that deals specifically with guides, and if you want to get a guide into the interior, you have to talk to him, and then he will basically let you know of the ones that are available.
Okay.
Also at this time, you kind of, by hook or by crook, when you're going through there, a couple people kind of hint that there are other ways to get guides, but they're against the law.
Awesome. And KW Frags donates £10. I give you purse for one to curse. It's for that Gaia, Hezekiah. This is so good. Oh,
that Gaia being another term for nature. Yeah, that's fucking talk nature again, you bastard.
He's in my house. I'm just gonna go hit him later.
He's in my house.
55.
Maybe if you let him go, Mike, he might not curse you.
Listen, we have a restriction on our mods. We keep them in the house. We don't allow anything but mod for our channel.
Artificer Mashara. Cheers, 1-250. Quinn doubted my goodwill. I curse him myself. You're now. Quinn, give me another D100. Mike, what was yours?
55.
55. All right, so Mike's reads. Holy shit. Oh, interesting. Whenever you crit on a spellcasting attack roll, your int score is reduced to 1 plus 1d4. At the end of each of your turns, you can recover your int score by the result of any die roll, as long as it doesn't exceed your int score. Example given, your int is 8, you chose a d12 and roll an 8, increasing it to 16. This is the best possible outcome. you had rolled high, your int would not increase. Okay, so there's the rules there, a little bit complex. We'll read through that one to make a bit more sense of it there. It's for you, Greg, later on. Probably for next session to work that one out, I guess. And 40... this is my favourite one so far. Lauren got this one earlier today in a different game. You have the curse of the screaming fruit, which is excellent because you're a druid as well. Any fruit within a 20-foot radius will grow mouths and begin perpetually screaming after 2 rounds. This fruit will scream for 1 minute straight, then violently explode. If the fruit is at least as large as an apple, it will deal 1d4 force damage when combusted.
No,
Can I just take the time to remind you that your new arm grows berries?
It grows berries which scream and explode. Holy shit.
Holy.
That is
Okay.
so good.
I petition to never lose these. I want to keep. I can deal with losing my name killing me every time someone says it, but I want to keep the arm.
No, we want you to keep the name killing you.
Yeah, I know you do.
You two, stop mutating. We're busy. Come on.
Stop mutating and help me count this fucking
So
tip.
I look towards. Are we next to this jobber guy? Jobble.
Yes, you guys are able to kind of go into what is essentially the high-end quarter of the city. You're able to find, of the 7 villas for the merchant princes, you're directed towards one in particular. Most of the merchant villas also have their trade, kind of a storefront, if you will, to the merchant villa. And in the villa, the storefront of Jobel's, when you go in, you realize that there are placards and kind of playbill type of things up that are advertising different guides to take you deeper into Chult proper. There are several different ones, but as soon as you walk in, you see a very handsomely dressed gentleman come out, and I can actually show you guys this person.
Ooh.
As we are winding down, but I'll be able to.
Trying to go down the market. How much damage would a watermelon do? Holy mackerel.
All right, there he is.
Oh, Jobel.
Pineapple.
There's Jobel right there. And he comes out and he's decked out in, several necklaces, and he kind of jingles a bit when he walks with his finery. And as he comes out, he looks at you and he says, I heard you've been causing problems in my city. You killed my men. And we can't have that. And at this point, from around the sides, you see several more of these cloaked figures come out. From behind him, they come out and they flank. And he says, you've already been reported to the authorities. And as I am a merchant prince, I believe it's the executioner's run for you. And that's where we'll end it tonight.
Oh,
I
right.
don't like that at all.
Rurik can totally talk his way out of this one.
Jesus, it's going to take me a week to figure out
Just sort through these rules.
This is unreal.
Holy shit, my friends. Well, man, that's where we're going to wrap up tonight's episode. It's been a crazy one. It's been a mad one. Fuck. But we're going to be back the same time next week for this same show. And of course, we're back tomorrow is Tuesday, so we're on for a long march at 5 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, 10 p.m. UK, so join us then for more shenanigans. But holy shit, this is the first day of the new curse tables. They're here for 1 week only. If by popular demand, which it seems like it is, they may stay for longer, who knows. But thank you guys so much for an incredible amount of craziness and generosity today. It was something like 16,000 bits today, and a whole ton of donations as well. So we're going to go around at the end there and thank everybody who donated today and cheered today, because thank you guys so much. You support the channel. We've been offline for 2 weeks after last week with all the problems in Canada and internet and stuff like this. So thank you guys so much for coming back in force and supporting these games. So if you enjoyed it, please do let us know in chat. If you haven't followed yet, follow. You can catch up on YouTube, of course, and here's all our social media to keep up with our streaming schedule as well, which you can find here to catch all of our streams. If you have followed, we highly suggest that you turn on notifications on Twitch. It means that you get an email or a text on your phone whenever we go live. And thank you so much to Ettazin for subscribing. Hello, my friend. Mike, let's start with you, dude.
I wasn't ready for this. I came in ready for some death and meat grinding on other meats, and I didn't expect any part of this, what happened today. And I'm less okay with going into that dungeon now more than ever. But I will be here not tomorrow. I'll be here next Monday to go into that dungeon and for the foreseeable future of Mondays. So you guys can always find me here. You can find me at Unmade Gaming on Twitch, Twitter, Facebook, all that good stuff. And currently we're doing a giveaway. So if you guys want to win one of these cool hex chests that's behind me there, feel free to enter that.
Awesome. Greg, yourself, a good man, long suffering.
I tell you what, no, it's never suffering when I am backed by the 9 trickster gods who are going to write this thing for me whenever it eventually comes down. Hey, Chris Perkins, fuck your shit. I've got all kinds of new stuff to do. I do want to make sure before I forget, drinks out to my guys, Rice Bowl and Wise Papa Grant for giving me my advantages. I appreciate it. Thanks to everybody that did this, because believe it or not, while especially Quinn has been given a monster amount of shit, I will be able to work several of these things in. It might take me a couple episodes, but hey, check them out. I guarantee you they'll be there. Now, as for me, Grimjack21502 on Twitch and Twitter, you can see me here, I guess, DMing from 4:30 to 7:30 every Monday. But you can also see me on Wednesday on Encounter Roleplay, where I will be subject to those curses. Bring them on. Don't be pussies. Just show up and hit me. Don't. I'm just okay. But yeah, 1 through 4 on Call of Cthulhu, and then I will be Wednesday night. I join Mike on his channel Unmade Gaming to do a little Blades in the Dark 6 and 20 action. And once again, I will say it that if you haven't checked out that RPG, John Harper wrote a good one. Other than that, be real. I'm going to spend the next week working on everything you guys have given me. And the only other thing we have is I need to remind Will that you get to read your special things in the outros, or I can do it as far as what the tricksters actually gave you. Guys, take it easy. I love you all.
I like it. Awesome. Strider.
You guys, this is my first game season I can be on, and you guys are just making it fantastic. This is some of the best D&D I've ever had. This is all great. As for me, I'm Strider. You can find me on Twitter as Strider Heap. Doing some cool stuff over at Encounter Roleplay, man. We're working on a Tomb of Annihilation magazine, working on a Breath of Gore, working on all kinds of cool, crazy articles. You guys can catch me here next week. Hit me up if you ever want to play a game. And yeah, a special thanks to all the donations this week. It's just fantastic. Episodes that I've watched aside, this is probably some of my favorite, just because not because I'm a narcissist, but because
not just that.
It's so cool to see all that player involvement, chat getting involved. It is fantastic. You guys have no idea how awesome this all is.
Absolutely awesome. Josh, yourself.
Yeah, it's been eventful. But I love stuff like this, especially when it just works really well. Like having a arm that's turning into a tree with explosive fruit. Yes, it's wild. Reason to pick a druid class, man. So yeah, I'm super excited now.
All right, I think you're cutting up a little bit there, so yeah, we'll cut you short just a bit. Good.
So much wild magic breaking my internet.
Yep, that's how it works. That's how it works. Well, thank you guys so much. Let's quickly run through all of Lee's donations. Faded Rice Ball donated £10, and again another £10. Then Rice Ball donated £5. Mike resubscribed for 15 months. Good on you, Mike. That's Solid Ginger donated £5. Definitely not Strider donated £10. 4 brand. Cheer for 1250. Suddenly Pandas resub for 15 months. Chat donated £40. Kiana donated £4. Grant Ellis cheered for 500. Artificer Mashara donated for cheered for 500. Mashara again for 500. Mashara again for 500. Chat with £30. Mashara of 1250. KW Frags have 14 months. Mashara of 1250 cheer. Kit Battle Bard 1,500 bits. Chat with a £10 donation. Mashara with 1,250 bits. KW Frags with a £10 donation. Mashara with 1,250 bits. Enters in with that new subscriber, and we also, I believe, we had Rakam. Yeah, Rakam with a 12 months sub. Ronk with a 5 months. It's Puzzle a sub. XP Knight with a sub. Holy shit, guys. Thank you guys so much. It means a whole lot to us, the whole cast and crew that you guys involve yourselves in these games. Really helps support the channel. It means that we can keep producing all the stuff that we produce for free every single day for you guys. We've got a new podcast out tonight that I'd love for you guys to listen to. If you enjoyed this, Turncloaks is out today, new episode. I think this is probably the one of the most important pieces of work that we and Encounter Roleplay have produced. I mean that a lot. It's really important to us, the cast and crew. If you take a listen to that, we'd really, really appreciate it. It's on iTunes and other podcasting apps. But thank you guys so much for joining me. We'll see you guys again tomorrow for a long march, 5 p.m. Eastern. Until next time, try not to throw too many net ones. We want to be laughing when you do. Good night, everybody.